Fordham Rams men's basketball season opener. Chris Carino here, amped to be joined by my partner, Joe Henry. Joe, new regime here in the Bronx. Coach Magpayo and his crew are moments away from their debut. New coaching staff, almost completely new roster. Over the last couple weeks, me and you have gotten to experience this new look program and gotten to see what this group is all about.
He calls it nerd ball, the money ball of basketball, making its debut tonight in the Bronx. A team built off of offensive efficiency, hustle, and high character, assembled on short notice with hopes of returning the Rams to contention in the Atlantic 10. It's a long road ahead, Chris, but the first page of a new chapter gets written tonight.
First page of a new chapter for the Rams. It's a new look roster, as I said in the intro and just now. Only one returning player playing double-digit games last season. Coach Magpayo said the two things he's trying to focus on this evening is transition defense, getting back in time, and offensive rebounds. Those second chances on the offensive end, two of the most important things for Coach Magpayo.
Look, we'll rip the Band-Aid off now. NJIT, last second, has scratched its two best players from its starting lineup. Sebastian Robinson and Melvin Ebonkoli will not be playing tonight. They're the top two projected scorers on this NJIT team. That leaves them having to start the true freshman David Bolden and lean on Jeremy Clayville, the second-year sophomore St. Francis standout who transferred over after St. Francis was announced to be switching from D1 to D3. This kid was lights out all year at St. Francis, helped take them to the national tournament in March, and now he's going to be relied on. This is a sharpshooter from range. If Fordham wants to win tonight, they're going to have to stop NJIT's shooters from getting good looks off.
Yeah, Joe, Clayville amongst that group of sophomores in this NJIT group that needs to step up, having a limited role last year as freshmen and now stepping into way bigger roles this season. And it's happening almost already with the two injuries you just said.
Absolutely. You're going to see some names in this NJIT team that didn't have big roles last year that are expected to take major leaps in year two. If an NJIT team that finished bottom 10 in the nation last year overall wants to take a leap forward in the America East, Ari Fulton is a name to watch out for on the wing alongside Jordan Rogers. Then watch out for Malachi Arrington. The 6'11 center didn't play much last year, but Coach Bill Meyer was very high on him last week when he was talking at Media Day. He said this is a true lob threat that adds another dynamic to an offense that has long lacked front court options. Fordham's going to have its hands full down low, especially considering that they're without their top center, Jack Whitborn.
Yeah, Arrington amongst the five in that starting lineup today for NJIT. Jeremy Clayville, as you said, also getting the start along with Jordan Rogers, David Bolden, and of course, Ari Fulton coming in for Sebastian Robinson, the on-ball guard who was supposed to really lead the offense for this NJIT team. Not ideal to open the season without him.
Not at all. And then over on the Fordham side, a couple shakeups late, but the starting lineup as it stands, it's Day-Day Reeves, the third-team preseason all-conference player, joined by Zariq Nutter, who's expected to handle some point-forward duties, Akira Jacobs, and Rika Schulte in the front court, and joined by Louis Lesmond, the French Harvard transfer, who's going to be a glue guy on the wing.
Just moments away from tip-off here at the historic Rose Hill Gym. Rams fans continue to pile in to this beautiful historic gym, celebrating its centennial year last season. And now the 101st season, starting off on a new page, the Coach Mike Magpayo era.
Magpayo era, fresh in the Bronx and looking to start out with a bang. The lineup's taking the floor now. This is year 124 of Fordham Rams basketball, and they're just 23 wins away this season from 1,600 W's all time, and of course looking to make their fifth national tournament.
And Joe, we've talked about the new look group for Fordham, still the second most experienced group in the A10 this season, so a lot of ball being played within this roster, maybe just not together.
In the big contrast, it's one of the oldest groups, most experienced groups in the A10 for Fordham, and one of the least experienced teams in the entire country for NJIT. That's what's going at it tonight.
Hosting Fordham Rams in their all-white home uniforms, maroon numbers and letters, NJIT, and their red uniforms with white letters and numbers. Rika Schulte tips it off, loses the tip to Arrington, and that's how we'll start. NJIT starting it offensively. Top of the key, Rogers. Plays it on the left wing. Clayville back top of the arc. Arrington, pass on the right wing. Fulton takes a three. It's good. Nothing but net for Ari Fulton, and what a start for NJIT.
The guy who shot 26% behind the arc last year, he needs to take a leap. He starts off on the right foot.
On the right wing, Day-Day Reeves to the left wing. Nutter fakes the dribble handoff. Zariq Nutter, the transfer, driving baseline, spinning baseline, no good at the rim. Rebound on the defensive end by Bolden. There goes NJIT. Bolden faking a pump fake, driving in the rim, pass back out right corner. NJIT will reset. Jordan Rogers back up top to Clayville. Hill impose this offense. No Robinson, no on-ball guard for this NJIT team. Clayville will take those honors. Right wing Fulton working on Nutter, driving inside through the right lane, stopping and spinning. No good on the turnaround jumper there. Day Reeves in the right wing in the front court for Fordham. Bounce pass, Rika Schulte on the roll. Matched with the double team on the right block. No good on the rebound. And another defensive rebound for Jordan Rogers. No success for Fordham on the offensive end. Rogers going the other way, straight into the chest of Akira Jacobs and finishing. What a start for NJIT.
Not a guy known for his slashing ability, but how about the Highlanders off to the hot start?
Day Reeves deep on the top right of the wing. Pass to Rika Schulte. Has on that left elbow. Dribble handoff to Nutter. Left wing. He'll make his way into the left wing. Pass out. 3. No good, short on the right wing. 3. Lesmond shot it. It's a foul on the ground, or out of bounds on the ground. It's going to stay with Fordham on the baseline.
Mike Magpayo said going into this game that Fordham needs to dominate. They need to crush NJIT on the boards, especially with Ebon Coley out. There's no reason why a bigger Fordham team can't win on the boards. They get their first O board here.
Day Reeves on the right side of the baseline under the basket, inbounding it. Rika Schulte has it on the right elbow. Dribble handoff, fakes to Day, then passes it to Day, middle of the lane, drives to the basket, finishes with the right hand. Nifty work at the rim from Day Reeves.
It's fitting that the first points of the season are from Day Reeves.
Day Reeves, the Fordham representative at A10 Media Day. Coach Magpayo has a lot of faith in his point guard. Top of the arc once again, Arrington. Dribble handoff, Clayville. Tried to pass it in the left corner. It's out of bounds. Fordham ball. Fordham getting their first turnover defensively. Fordham
has done a great job of crashing inside off of the drive from NJIT and making life a little chaotic on these rather inexperienced ball handlers.
Day Reeves taking up the ball. Point guard honors. The Iona transfer. Top of the arc, Akira Jacobs. Pick and pop. No good off back iron. A fight on the offensive glass. Lesmond has it. Back out. Day Reeves, right wing 3. It's good. 3 for Fordham. They tie the game 5-5, 17-30 in this first half.
And it wouldn't have happened without that rebounding effort from Lesmond. He tipped it up to himself, one arm, back-legged, somehow found a way to get the Rams an extra possession.
Day Reeves has all 5 for the Rams, 5-5. On the left wing, moving toward the free throw line. Lob, no good on the dunk. Arrington had it in his hands, lost it on the transfer. On the other end, Zarik Nutter going to the rim is blocked. A foul on the rebound. It's going to be Rika Schulte on the ground. He's the victim of the foul. I believe it's going to be on Malachi Arrington.
And Zarik Nutter was looking for a goaltend on that shot. He had 2 men come and help. They swatted away. He was really close to hitting the glass beforehand, but as it stands, Fordham will get the possession.
Fordham gets the ball back. They'll inbound on the baseline, the left part of the baseline. Day Reeves once again inbounding. Day's passing ability making him the primary inbounder for this Fordham squad. Back out to Rika Schulte, deep on the left wing. Pass to Zarik Nutter in the corner. Zarik fakes right, goes left baseline. Back out to Day. Reeves has it deep on the right wing. Crossover, pull up 3. It's good! A skyscraper 3 for Day Reeves gives Fordham the lead. 8-5, 16-47 in this first half.
Well, he's their top scoring transfer, and he has all 8 of your first points of the season.
Bolden passing in the left corner. Clayville driving inside, tried to make the lob. The lob pass ended up going in itself, and that's a point for NJIT.
Sometimes you get unlucky, Chris.
Absolutely, or lucky. Day Reeves, right wing, working left around a Schulte screen, now left wing. Pass in the right corner. Akira Jacobs takes the 3, no good. Rebound on the defensive glass from NJIT. They're moving the other way.
These are the looks that Jacobs wants.
David Bolden working left around the screen, top of the arc, going through the left part of the lane, stopping at the left block, pass in the right corner, extra pass to Rogers, top of the key, pump fakes, drives inside, another lob opportunity to Arrington, another unsuccessful lob. Akira Jacobs on the other end, in transition, absorbing contact and finishing. Fordham Rams are moving offensively.
When you can't hit from the perimeter early, go inside, get yourself a layup, and get those cylinders drunken.
10-7, Fordham lead, 15:43 to go in this first half. Fulton deep on the right wing, top of the arc to Rogers. Working it to the big man Arrington, dribble handoff. Going through the left side of the lane, Clayville no good at the rim. Trying to work on the offensive glass. Eventually it'll be out of bounds. It's going to stay here with NJIT. Nice work on the offensive glass there from Clayville.
It was a great fight from Clayville, but his foot was on the baseline when he saved that out of bounds. That should be overturned in a review, and it just has been.
They called that the wrong way. It's going to go toward Fordham. And that's the first timeout of the coach Mike Magpayo era for Fordham. We're going to take a little break along with the teams. Fordham leading 10-7 early in this first half, 15-32 to go in the first half. We'll be right back with Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports. What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Carino.
I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Tucker Austin.
Your Fordham football broadcasters for the 2025 season.
Join us every Saturday on 90.7 FM and on WFUV Sports YouTube page for live radio broadcasts of every Fordham football game as the Rams continue their quest to their first Patriot League title since 2014.
With a new look offense and veteran leaders on defense, you won't want to miss this. Fordham football, every weekend on WFUV Sports.
Coming to you back at the Rose Hill Gym after our first timeout of the season. 10-7 Fordham Rams lead. 15:32 to go in this first half. Joe, a slightly slow start for Fordham, especially offensively. But as we saw just in that last couple possessions, Fordham really starting to get to running.
That's exactly what you can expect from a team that was assembled on a whim in late spring behind the curve, making its first ever appearance together. This team played in 2 close scrimmages. We know the results of them. They split those 2 games, a bad loss to Temple and then a good win against Stony Brook. But it's really the first dose of legitimate action. And a big factor of that, Chris, the fans. How about this student section? I mean, 15 minutes before tip-off, it was looking barren, and now you can't see any maroon seats left in the house. They're all embodied by people. It is packed here, and it's going to start to get loud as things go down.
Yeah, student section sneakily has gotten very packed over the last couple of minutes. Talking about NJIT, Joe, obviously, as we talked about in the intro, no Sebastian Robinson for this group, Noah Boncoli for this group as well. Their 2 best scorers without those 2 players. Seems like they've still done a decent job offensively.
Absolutely. They've relied on Ari Fulton. He took the team's 2 first shots, and then you're going to see a lot of Jeremy Clayville. That kid is not afraid to shoot it, but he also started to grow later in last season, driving and kicking the ball. He's going to take on a lot of point guard duties today. Louis
Lesmond and Zarik Nutter taking a seat, along with their big man, Rikus Schulte. A few new Rams checking into the ball game. Abbas Bodia checking in for his first minutes of the season, along with transfer Marcus Green, Hawaii transfer Marcus Green. He's out there with his former Hawaii teammate Akira Jacobs. 2 players transferring to Fordham over 5,000 miles away.
And for Bodija making his college debut.
Christian Henry checking in the game for his first minutes as well. Akira Jacobs top of the key to Day. Reeves back up top to his backcourt partner Henry. Akira Jacobs, physical play off the ball, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Fordham turning over the ball there.
It's something that Jacobs has really struggled with in practice. Oddly enough, it's a niche part of the game, but running guys over trying to set screens. He's trying to be aggressive, but sometimes he loses control. We see it here.
Fordham loses the offensive possession. NJIT gets the ball back. David Bolden brings it up for the Highlanders. Fulton, right wing. Faking left, going right. Now picked up by a double team, passing it back out, top of the arc. Jordan Rogers. Rogers moving to the right wing, back to top of the key, Bolden. Bolden guarded tightly by Reeves, takes the 3. No good on the contested 3, in and out. A fight on the glass. Akira Jacobs is there. Long fight, ends up winning it. Fordham with the ball now. Henry, top of the arc, dribble handoff. Reeves, moving to the top of the arc. Green has it on the left wing. Bounce pass inside. Bodia, working with his back towards Schroeder. Back out, right wing. Akira Jacobs on the 3. No good. NJIT on the rebound. They're moving quickly the other way. Rogers, moving quickly to Awad. Back to Rogers, right corner, driving baseline. Tried to get it inside. It was Bodia there to break it up. Out of bounds. It'll stay with NJIT.
This is an NJIT team that's playing a lot of true freshmen. David Bolden got the start, and now Zach Schurler and Rocco Awad are both in the game off the bench. You have to expose their inexperience.
A lot younger of a group out there for NJIT. Fordham with a lot of experience on the floor. Bolden in the right corner. Again, tightly guarded by Day Reeves. Now Awad steps into a right wing three. It's good. A wad, 1-2 step right into a three. No premeditated move there, and that gets NJIT back tied with Fordham. Henry moving quickly the other way through the right lane, tied up in the lane, jump ball, and that'll stay with Fordham on this side.
A wad touted by Coach Grant Billmeyer of NJIT as one of the very best shooters he saw while recruiting last summer. He brings him over from the London Academy, and he drills his first ever collegiate attempt.
A wad amongst a ton of undergrads for this NJIT team. Jace Howard checking into the game for Fordham as well. He gets it on the inbound. Pass back to Henry, right corner. Henry of Fordham, back to Jace Howard. Right post. Bodying his way inside and finishing at the rim. Jace Howard using his frame, and 2 points for the Rams.
Has to be a great feeling for a guy that missed almost all of his last 2 seasons with injury.
Howard's frame, one of the biggest aspects of his game, used it there. Howard guarding Bolden on the right wing. Top of the key to Rogers. Rogers to a wad, left wing. Back to Bolden. The guards passing it around the top of the key. Bolden driving inside, working on a tightly guarded Howard. No good at the rim on the floater. Green there on the defensive rebound. Fordham moving the other way.
How about a bucket and then a stop from Jace Howard?
Green going on a Bodia screen to the left. To Henry. Left wing. Pump fakes. Tries to drive inside. Stops. Back out to Green. Top of the arc three. No good off back iron. Some hard extracurriculars off the ball. It's Jace Howard picking up the off-the-ball foul. Another off-the-ball foul for the Fordham Rams.
And over the back trying to get a rebound over the smaller David Bolden. Probably didn't need to be that physical. But you understand, Coach Magpayo says we need to win the battle of the boards. This team's going to be aggressive. You're going to get a foul, making an over-the-back foul when you're really scrapping for a board.
John Kelly, the sophomore, checking in for the Highlanders. He'll inbound this one in the backcourt. David Bolden still with point guard duties for NJIT. 12-10, Fordham Rams lead, 13-16 to go in this first half. Ryan Pettis checks into the game as well. He's guarding full court. Guarding Bolden tightly and switches defenders. Fulton driving inside on Pettis. No good at the rim, hitting straight backboard, and Jace Howard's there on the glass.
Fordham's defense in the paint has been exceptional.
Pettis bringing it up for Fordham. Another option at point guard for the Rams. Kicks it out. Jace Howard, left wing three. No good off back iron. Another rebound from Arrington. Bolden calling for a screen at the top of the key. Fakes going right. Bolden now takes the screen going left. Pass to Arrington. Has it top of the key. Looks around for direction. Back to Bolden. Bolden now picked up by a double team. Bodia and Green at the top of the key guarding him. Bodia getting a little overzealous and picking up the foul. A reach-in for the Rams.
Look, Bodica is a guy who's going to be as big as anyone that Fordham puts out this season. He's got a 7'3" wingspan. He didn't play last year, but he's going to get a lot of minutes in a rotational as a rotational option in the front court. And he tends to guard well when he's stretched out into the perimeter, but he gets a little overzealous, as you said there.
Clayville for NJIT taking it out right in front of us to Arrington, top of the arc. Dribble handoff, Fulton. Fulton, left wing. Passes inside to Arrington, left post, working on Bodia. Picked up by a double team. Great job by Henry, and a blocking foul called on Henry. The gym thought it might have been a charge call. Henry came over to double team in the post, and it ending in a foul.
Arrington had his back to the basket. Henry positioned himself underneath him. He had no idea when he turned around. He ran him over, but the question is, was Henry inside the restricted area?
Clayville on the right side of the baseline, inbounding. Trying to get it in, eventually does to Arrington, top of the key. Fakes the dribble handoff. Fakes 2 dribble handoffs, top of the key. Back to Clayville. Clayville, long three, no good. Still 14 seconds on the shot clock. Took that one anyway, and Fordham has it.
I mean, that was seriously 30 feet.
Christian Henry looks to Magpayo for directions. Fordham setting up their offense. Henry going right around a Bodia screen through the middle of the lane. Dump off to Bodia. He finishes at the rim. Nice 1-2 work there from Bodia and Henry.
Nice two-man game for your first career collegiate basket, Abbas Bodija.
Clayville, top of the arc to Fulton. Right wing. Guarded tightly by Green. Back to Arrington. NJIT loves to use Arrington at the top of the key. And a swipe off the ball, almost had it on a steal. Instead, it's passed into the left block. 2 men working on him. Fulton draws the foul on the double team. And nice hard work there from Fordham defense and the offense of NJIT.
No, you have to be happy with the way that this Fordham defense is fighting. Ryan Pettis checks into this game as a sophomore. He didn't play a ton last year. Good to see him get some early minutes here, and he has been a pest defensively, picking up the full 94 feet, having that swipe down when he was off the ball, ripping around a screen on defense earlier in this possession. Then Fordham gets another deflection later in that play. They end up committing the foul, but they're making life tough on the Highlanders. NJIT is 1 for its last 7 field goals. They haven't scored as a team in nearly 3 minutes of game time.
NJIT needs to get back on the right track here at opening night. Fordham still holding on to their 14-10 lead, 11:28 to go in the first quarter. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
The NFL trade deadline ended at 4 p.m. today, so let's recap the biggest moves as we look towards Week 10 of the season. The Jets made 2 massive moves, sending corner Sauce Gardner to the Colts for 2 first-round picks and receiver Adonai Mitchell. New York also moved defensive tackle Quinnen Williams-South to Dallas for a first- and second-round pick, alongside tackle Mozzie Smith. The Colts, at 7-2, look to improve after a disappointing loss to the Steelers and push for the 1 seed in the AFC. While the Jets, sitting at 1-7 and now without key players, will likely struggle for the rest of the season and against the Browns next week. Over to Vegas, the Raiders shipped receiver Jacoby Myers to Jacksonville for a 4th and 6th-round pick. The Jags are 5-3 currently and are looking to find a replacement for the now-injured Travis Hunter. Finally, Seattle boosts the receiving room with New Orleans' Rashid Shaheed sending over a 4th and 5th-round pick. The Seahawks are tied with the Rams for the division and are trying to create separation to secure a playoff spot. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Derek Boyer.
$11:28 to go in the first half here in the Bronx. Rose Hill Gym on the campus of the beautiful Fordham University. Fordham Rams 14-10 lead over the NJIT Highlanders at opening night. The opening of the Coach Mike Magpayo era. Chris Carino here, joined with Joe Henry. Joe, as you just mentioned, some really poor offensive numbers for the Highlanders going into that timeout, but a lot of positive things to say about this Fordham Ram team on the other side.
Absolutely, and the place that I look first is the thing that Magpayo harped on the most. Can we rebound the ball against a team that has a little bit more size than they used to have, but is still much smaller than us and way less experience? So far, the answer is yes. They have an 11-6 advantage on the boards. Then also, how about defending the 3? We said before the game, if NJIT wants to win this game, it's going to need to shoot lights out from 3 without its 2 best scoring options. So far, Fordham has only allowed NJIT to take 4 total threes. They've made 2 of them, so a 50% rate, but you'd settle for them shooting only 4 threes through 10 minutes of play. Defending the 3, multiple Magpayo teams have finished top 10 in the nation in fewest 3-point attempts allowed. NJIT historically loves to get its top scorers as many outside shots as possible, and that Fordham side really needs to set its half-court defense to stop it. They've done that super well so far.
Ari Fulton good on his first free throw of 2. Cuts the lead to 3, 14-11, Fordham. Offensive rebounds, another key to Magpayo's sense of victory this evening. They're up 3-0 on the offensive boards category on NJIT. Christian Henry after the miss, working for the Fordham offense. Top of the key, Zarik Nutter moving off the ball, along with also guard Marcus Green. Green works it inside, Rika Schulte, right post. Works on his defender, spins middle of the lane, and finishes at the rim. Rika Schulte.
But if you don't know the name yet, you should get used to it. Rika Schulte has showed out in summer and fall. He was this team's best player in his 2 scrimmages. He had 21-7 in their win over Stony Brook, and he gets the nod at the 5 tonight.
Arrington plays to Clayville, right wing. Moves around an Arrington screen left. Now at the left elbow. Pops from mid-range. It's good. Turnaround jumper from mid-range is good for Jeremy Clayville.
He's going to keep shooting these crazy shots.
We've seen
head in his
quite
face.
a shot selection
from the logo earlier. If they want to win, he's going to have to do that.
Clayville guarding Henry, top of the arc for Fordham. Nutter in the corner, pump fakes, then shoots. No good on the corner 3. Another miss from Fordham from long range, and Arrington loses the ball under the basket. An inerrant error for NJIT, and Fordham will get the ball back.
A totally uncontested rebound from Arrington. Fordham gave up and started setting its half-court defense, and the ball just slipped out of his hands. Nutter, on the other hand, NJIT following the scouting report, Nutter only attempted about 1 3 a game last season. He's left wide open there, and he can't hit.
16-13, Fordham leads, 10:24 to go in this first half. Fordham with the ball back. Schulte gets it on the inbound. Trying to get it to Henry. He does. Left wing. Henry going left around a Schulte screen, driving through the left part of the lane, spin around jumper in the mid-range, no good. Trying to copy Clayville there, no good on his shot. Clayville has it offensively for NJIT. Deep on the right wing, pass on the left wing to Rogers. Rogers to Bolden. Top of the arc now, guarded by the much bigger Akira Jacobs. Stops, then drives again. Follow through step to the rim with a finish. Bolden using the pretty footwork to get 2.
Wow, this kid is nice. He takes a bump against a 6'11 defender and then goes underneath him to finish with a scoop layup.
Schulte fakes dribble handoff to Green, to Nutter. Left post, back to his defender. Working on Duncan. Spots up, draws the foul, gets his defender to jump. He'll go to the line for 2. Good play there in the post from Zarik Nutter.
This kid's been playing college ball for 6 years. You think against a guy who's a true sophomore that he doesn't know to step back when he's in his face, and then when he bites him on the pump fake, just lean right into him. You get 2 free shots at the line.
Zarik Nutter, double-digit points in all three years at the D1 level. Drew 6.3 fouls per 40 minutes last season. One of the best players on his team and in his conference at drawing fouls. He misses the first free throw there. 82%, or not, that was Day Reeves, 59% on the year last year at the free throw line for Zarik Nutter. So he can draw these fouls, Joe, but capitalizing on them seems like a whole different beast.
Yeah, that's a big point of emphasis for Nutter. You can get to the line, that's great, but you got to cash in at a higher rate.
Nutter missing the second one as well. That one off front rim. Nutter goes 0 for 2 at the line. NJIT with the ball back. 16-15 Fordham lead. 9.5 to go in this first half. Duncan, top of the arc. Dribble handoff to Bolden. Bolden back to Duncan. Left corner 3. No good. Offside iron. Arrington on the offensive glass. Under the basket. Fights on Schulte. No good on his putback. Schulte's there on the defensive glass. What a battle from the 2 big men under the basket. Schulte to Lesmond, top of the arc. To Nutter, left wing. Wide open 3. No good offside rim. Nutter has struggled from the 3-point line. NJIT wasting no time on the other end. A score, specifically a layup on the other end. That was Quentin Duncan, the Connecticut native. He's got NJIT back in the lead, 17-16. Wow. 8:58 to go in this first quarter.
The engine has been Clayville. He sprinted out in transition there. That look is not available if he's running out there. And there's no reason for him to be. It's off of an open 3, but he knows Nutter's left wide open. He can just run out in transition as Nutter's following his shot. He gets the wide open outlet pass from Arrington and finds the cutting scorer, Fulton, to put NJIT in front.
NJIT with a 6-0 run to get back in the lead, 17-16. It seems the pace is a big aspect of their success so far, Joe. It seems when the game is moving fast, this NJIT team is excelling.
Absolutely, and again, it starts with Clayville. This kid, when he gets the ball in his hand, has been fearless. He's not this normal spot-up shooter that you'd expect a slimmer guard to be. No, he's frenetic. He's running everywhere, starting the action. He's looking to find his teammates as he does there. We saw him pull from the logo. He doesn't there in transition. He looks, finds the open man, makes the simple play, but as you said, he does it in a hurry. They are pushing the pace, and it's starting to work against this Fordham team.
Malachi Arrington, another guy making a big impact for NJIT. 3 starts in his season as a freshman last season. Definitely going to see a bigger role in the Highlanders program this season.
Yeah, I don't think we expected to see him start tonight, but with the late scratch from Ivan Coley, he gets the start, and so far on the glass, he's wreaked some havoc.
Only 2 points per game and 1.6 rebounds a game last season. Day Reeves back in the game for the Rams. He has it on the right wing. Pass in the right corner. Akira Jacobs. He takes a 3. No good. Another miss for Fordham offensively. Eventually, it's Clayville getting it defensively for NJIT. NJIT pushing it once again. Rogers up and under pass. It's good under the basket from Schurler. Another transition bucket for NJIT. Magpayo wants to limit the transition points for Fordham.
It's just a bad job of getting back on defense. They're fighting for that rebound. You have to give up at some point.
Jacobs looking to pass inside. He does. Rikus Schulte working on the right post. Then through the middle of the paint. Now pass back outside. Day Reeves dribbling and shooting mid-range. No good. Off front rim for Day. NJIT moving back the other way. Bolden stopping at the right wing. Pass on the opposite wing. All the way around the world to Clayville. Left corner. Back out top, Rogers driving to the left side of the lane. Trying to finish on Akira Jacobs. Good D there. No good on the shot. Day Reeves pushing it ahead. Nutter finishing at the rim. Fast-paced play going back and forth between these two teams.
Well, that's what you need. Your team has probably, 30 more combined years of collegiate experience than your opponent. You got to sprint out in transition. Dominate the game in transition.
Top of the key, Rogers. A sophomore. Pass to Clayville. Clayville stopping at the free throw line. Back out. Duncan, right wing. driving through the middle of the lane, stopping at the free throw line, out to Bolden, long three, no good off front rim. Rikus is there for it. Back to Day-Day. Day-Day Reeves, driving through the middle of the lane, taking contact and still finishing. Absorbing all the contact, almost completely stopping in midair and still finishing at the rim. Day-Day Reeves with the impressive play.
Boy, this kid is tough, huh? Is he not?
Very tough.
It's election day in New York. I think Day-Day Reeves putting up a pretty good case for mayor. He's got 10 points already. He's got half of Fordham's points so far.
Tough guard play between both of these teams, Clayville and Day-Day Reeves. They seem to both be powering their teams as they've gone along this first quarter.
No doubt. And Reeves' only missed shot is when he had to settle for a jumper. Those are the looks that Fordham needs to avoid. It's what they've been settling for, these long twos in this slow stretch that they've had. They're 1 for their last 8 from 3 because they're taking too long in the shot clock. They're not getting open looks. And while they have gotten some good looks from 3, they really have not fallen yet. This team is 2 for 11 from distance. It's 2 makes, though. Day-Day Reeves.
Day-Day Reeves on the 2 makes. 2019 Fordham leads NJIT. 7:09 to go in this first half. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Want to be part of the Ramley? It all starts here. I'm Nathan Rogers.
And I'm Kate Cox, and we are 2 of your hosts for On the Hill, WFUV's exclusive podcast for all things Fordham athletics.
From the field of Moglia Stadium to the hardwood of the historic Rose Hill Gym, we've got you covered with the ins and outs of Fordham sports.
Every week, every play, every round. Tune in weekly wherever you get your podcasts. This is On the Hill.
$7:09 to go in our first half here in the Bronx. 2019 Fordham leads over the NJIT Highlanders. Have our first game of the season, first home opener and opener of the season. Joe Henry, joined by Joe Henry. I'm Chris Carino. Alex Diaz is with us on sidelines. We'll hear from her in a little while. Henry Wolf is here on-site production as well, and we're all absolutely amped to be here. First, I would say 3/4 of that first half, Joe. A lot of good signs for the Rams, but with all things considered, NJIT maybe has more positive things to talk about.
No doubt. To be down by just 1 against a mid-major, when you are a mid-major but has been a team that has finished consistently in the bottom 10, 15, 20 in the country, not bad at all, considering you're missing your best 2 players.
Missing their best 2 players, and the offense hasn't seemed to suffer from it, whether it's Bolden or Clayville or even the work from the big man Arrington. It seems like it's been next man up mentality for this team.
No, it certainly has, and Clayville has risen to the occasion. He was already going to start, but now he's into this super high usage role. The ball's in his hands every single play, and the same can be said for David Bolden. This is a true freshman. He was an all-state talent out of Wisconsin. He averaged 28 and 6 as a senior. Bill Meyer talked to him as a leader and a floor general. He's showcasing it in his college debut.
David Bolden bringing it up for NJIT. Pass right corner. Fulton. Another dribble handoff. Awad. Arrington now has it on the right elbow. Dribble handoff Rogers. Rogers entering the lane. Dump off to Arrington. Arrington sneaking into the middle of the lane. It's good. Step back jumper, a little step back jumper, gets it to go. Schulte was a bit frozen on that play. Nonetheless, NJIT back in the lead, 21-20, 6:37 to go in this first half. Day-Day Reeves deep on the right wing, directing his squad. Tariq Nutter picks it up off the ball, has trouble with it. Schulte then picks it up. Still on the ground. Nutter's on the ground to grab it. Ball is loose. Awad eventually has it. Outlet pass to Fulton. He has it on the right wing. A step through in the lane. No good at the rim. It's Lesmond on the defensive glass for Fordham. Gives it to Day-Day Reeves. He'll bring it up for the Rams.
That is fantastic transition defense from Lesmond.
Lesmond going to the left lane. Back out to Nutter. Nutter pump faking on the right wing. Then pass to Lesmond right corner. That's blocked. Nutter picks it up after the block. Fordham still has it offensively. Nutter backing down his defender. Right block. Pump fakes. Jumper. No good from the free throw line. Another rebound from Bolden. NJIT has it now.
That was halfway in and out, Chris.
Bolden to Fulton, right wing. Pump fakes, then takes the 3. No good. Rimming in and out. Arrington tried to work on the offensive glass to get it. He couldn't. Out of bounds Rams ball.
Fordham has a 19-13 rebounding advantage. They had a 6-rebound advantage early on the first half. They haven't built on that, and I think that's indicative of what NJIT has been doing these past few minutes. They're just hustling harder. With the exception of guys like Schulte and Lesmond, it feels like they're quicker to the glass, they're quicker out in transition, and they're keeping themselves in this game.
Neither of these teams shooting the ball particularly well. NJIT 9 for 23 from the field. That's good enough for 39%. And the Rams, even worse, 9 for 25 from the field for 36%. Henry passing it back out to Day Reeves for the Rams offensively. 16 seconds on the shot clock. Day Reeves through the middle of the lane. Stop and pop at the free throw line is good. Day Reeves getting a score for the Rams and getting the Rams back in the lead.
And he's just so pure. He just knows what he should be doing with the ball.
22-21 Rams, 5:10 to go in this first half. Fulton receives it on the dribble handoff, goes to the left of the lane, no good after receiving heavy contact. A big fight on the glass. Fulton is fighting for it, eventually out of bounds. Fordham ball after a major scrum on the ball, bodies everywhere.
And there are 4 bodies strewn across the restricted area to turn into a jump ball. The ball goes to Fordham, but again, fantastic fight on the offensive boards from NJIT.
Fantastic fight from both teams so far this evening.
And it is Highlander ball.
It is Highlander ball on the baseline. Thought it was Fordham. They switched it to NJIT ball. It'll be Bolden taking it out on the left side of the baseline under the basket, under their own basket.
The shot clock did not reset, so it's at 11 here.
Yeah. 5 minutes on the first half clock, 11 on the shot clock. Still 22-21 Fordham. Bolden running out of time here. Pass to Fulton. Fulton has it. Left elbow. Facing up Green. A shimmy. A touch pass inside. Arrington can't hold on to it, and Fordham takes it away. Bodija has it. Pass it up ahead to Day Reeves. Alternating wings. Now Henry has it on the left wing. Christian Henry going left around a Bodija screen. Henry now has it in the left wing. Backing down his defender. Gets in the middle of the lane. Puts up a shot. No good. Bodija tried to get the offensive rebound. Eventually it ends up with Arrington. NJIT is pushing. It's tipped out of bounds on the transition. Fordham ends up being the ones touching it last. It'll be NJIT.
It gives yourself a breath, gives yourself a chance to set your half-court defense. But Fordham now one of its last 9 from three-point range, and one of its last 4 from the field.
2 for 12 in general tonight from three-point range. Fordham struggling. 22-21 still. Fordham lead. 4:29 to go in this first half. Bolden going right around an Arrington screen. Now right wing. Guarded by Day Reeves. The hound defensively, Day Reeves. Duncan then gets it on a dribble handoff. He spots up and hits! Duncan from the right wing gives NJIT a 3 and a 2-point lead. 24-22, 4:09 to go in this first half.
Kids lights out, 43% from distance.
Pass inside. Bodija has it on the right block. Poked away by another defender, and it's a jump ball. Tenacious defense from the Highlanders causes the jump ball.
And the fight inside by NJIT is just phenomenal. Bodija gets a great paint touch. Feels like he has so many options in the low post, and immediately the tie-up.
A lot of fight from both sides so far. 4 minutes left to go in this first half. 24-22, NJIT Highlanders beating the hosting Fordham Rams. We'll be right back with men's Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
There was a ton of A-10 basketball action yesterday and a lot of wins, so let's get into it. In my home state of South Carolina, St. Bonaventure took down the Bradley Braves 69-63. In a huge scoring game, VCU defeated Wagner 103-74, where the highest scoring player only had 21 points, even with the 177 points combined. The Hawks swooped down in Philly as Lafayette falls to St. Joe's 85-76. And in the final close game of the day, Loyola Chicago squeaks by Cleveland State 91-88 after a Tavares buzzer beater from range. Looking to the future for the A-10 tomorrow, LaSalle takes on Copen State in Philly for their first game of the season. Tip-off is at 6:30. 30 minutes later in Richmond, the Spiders take on Southern Virginia in their first game as well. All A-10 men teams are yet to lose as the Rams look to continue that streak tonight. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Derek Boyer.
24-22, Rams trailing NJIT. We're going to get a chance to take it to our sideline reporter, Alex Diaz, for a report. Alex, take it away.
Last time out, Coach Magpayo was telling his guys he needs them to be more composed and play with more patience. On offense, they are getting good looks when they share the basketball and are passing to create shots as opposed to just taking quick ones. He also wants them to drive to the basket more and draw some fouls. NJIT only has 2 so far, and he needs his guys to be more physical and create scoring opportunities. He knows their shots will fall, but he needs them to play together, something he's repeated quite a few times already. On defense, it's about playing physical and playing big, but staying out of foul trouble. Some of those foul calls have gone their way and some haven't, so they need to bear down and play clean basketball. Lastly, Coach wants his guys to communicate more. He acknowledged Rose Hill is loud tonight, but he's asking more from his guys. There's still a lot of time left in this game, so we'll see if they make some changes. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Fantastic work there. As we've talked about all season long, Joe, united was a word that stuck out to Coach Magpayo. How united this group is really depends on a lot of their success.
Look, they were united off the court. Those are all the reports that we heard, but they've been disjointed on the court so far. They're trying to put Ryan Pettis back in the backcourt, get another injection of energy.
Pettis and Jace Howard, 2 massive vessels of energy on the floor for Fordham. Arrington has it in the left block, guarded by Schulte. Pass to Awad. He'll take the left wing 3 and hit. Awad gets it on the dribble handoff and makes Fordham pay.
And how about this kid? His first 2 shots are made threes.
27-22, NJIT leads the Fordham Rams. Jace Howard loses the ball on the right block, and it's out of bounds. It'll actually be a foul. Jace Howard picking up the leg of his defender, and it's an offensive foul. That one will go to NJIT. What a bizarre play there, Joe.
It's a brutal sequence. He had the ball batted away from him on the baseline. As it trickled out of bounds, the NJIT defender tried to search for it. It was Bolden, and Howard kind of tripped him. He kind of stuck out his leg and just lifted his leg up a little bit, got him off balance, and that's where the whistle came from.
After the turnover, NJIT 5-point lead, 3:20 to go in this first half. Top of the arc, Duncan, almost tripped by Day Reeves, picks it back up. Arrington, top of the arc to Bolden. Going right around an Arrington screen. Top of the arc 3 is good. Nothing but nylon for David Bolden. And NJIT out to an 8-point lead, the biggest lead of the evening.
And how often do you see a true freshman look this comfortable?
2:54 to go in this first half. Day Reeves, right to left crossover. Step back 3 is good. Day Reeves, when the Fordham offense needed it most, he's there.
He has 60% of this team's points. 15 of 25, Chris.
Day Reeves doing it all offensively for the Rams. Floater no good on the offensive end for NJIT. Fordham back out the other way. Day Reeves stopping at the left wing. Pass left corner. Pettis 3. No good. Offside rim. Rebound brought down by NJIT. They'll slow it down.
The Highlanders doing a great job of boxing out. There's not a lot of fighting for offensive rebounds here.
Top of the arc, Bolden working around a screen, middle of the lane. Contested layup is good. Stepping over his big man Arrington and getting it done by any means necessary. Day Reeves has it deep on the right wing next to Grant Billmeyer. Been losing his mind the last couple possessions for his squad. Drive inside, no good on a layup from Schulte, and another miss for Fordham offensively. NJIT coming quickly the other way. Inerrant lob pass goes out of the baseline and out of bounds, back to the Fordham Rams.
Oh, what did Grant Billmeyer say before this game? Watch out for Malachi Arrington. He's a lob threat. They've tried to lob it to him about 1,000 times.
Yeah,
one of the lobs, this one just sailed out of bounds. Another one accidentally went in the net. We've had a couple others that get deflected, a couple other catches. He still hasn't finished a lob, but he's gotten a ton of looks.
Christian Henry bringing it up for the Fordham offense to Akira Jacobs. Back to Day Reeves, right wing. He'll take a 3. No good on the stop and pop. Bolden there on the rebound for the Highlanders. NJIT back with the ball offensively. 32-25. Highlanders 7-point lead. 1:30 to go in this first half. Bolden. Pass to Rogers, right wing. Working on the much larger Schulte. Inside and a foul inside. Christian Henry picking up a push call in the paint. And that'll be another foul and another poor possession defensively for the Fordham Rams.
That they allow the ball to get inside quickly in the possession. They're scrambling behind. They need to rely on their help defense just as they did on that last NJIT bucket. And this time Henry tries to get a little push off. He wasn't even facing his defender, just kind of backed into him a little bit in the paint, but the ref saw it.
Joe, looking at Coach Magpayo, especially after that last play, a growing frustration seemingly building up in the coach as a miss there on the free throw. Day Reeves has it on the left wing on the other side for the Fordham offense. Jogs it back out top of the arc on the Fordham logo. Guarded by Quentin Duncan. Going left around Jacob's screen. Now has on the left wing. Pass to the opposite corner. Lesmond. Pump fakes then drives. Has some trouble. Spins. Pass to Schulte. Top of the key. He'll take a jumper. No good off back iron. Jacobs working hard on the offensive glass. Lesmond gets the offensive rebound. Put back no good. Eventually a fight springing out to the left corner. NJIT has it. Up ahead. Awad three is good. Rocco Awad, left wing three in transition, puts NJIT up double digits in this first half.
I think this kid's feeling it in his college debut. 3 for 3 from distance to start out.
Even just how he's walking around defensively, you could tell he's feeling it. Henry at the right elbow, takes a floater, no good, but he'll be fouled. He'll go to the line for two. NJIT 35-25, 27.1 seconds to go in this first half. What a shocker in this first half.
Just brutal. The offense has been ugly at times. 1 for its last 7 from the field. And how about an offense, a Mike Magpayo offense? I mean, the number one thing this offense is built to do historically at UC Riverside now here is shoot the three ball. 60% of their field goal attempts in their scrimmage against Temple were three-pointers. They're shooting plenty of threes. About 50% of their shots are threes, but they're 3 for 16, Chris, shooting 19% from distance. When those aren't connecting, things start looking a little bit messy. You start trying to search for options inside. It hasn't been pretty in the paint in the second half of this first half of play. Christian Henry kind of bails him out here at the line.
Christian Henry making the first, missing the second. The first made free throw for the Fordham Rams this evening. They were 0 of 2 before that. Tariq Nutter going 0-4 at the line prior. After the missed free throw, 15 seconds left, 35-26 Highlanders. NJIT with the ball offensively. On the left wing to Rogers, has it at the top of the arc, fakes right, goes left, lob pass in the middle. Arrington on the slam. What a play to cap off the half for NJIT. Arrington with a lob dunk you could feel from the sports complex on the other side of campus.
It's
37-26 to end the half. NJIT leading the Fordham Rams.
It's a lob that brings the house down, but it also quiets an arena that hasn't had a lot to cheer for in the first half. This was ugly, Chris. 37-26, and we said it was a matter of time with Malachi Arrington that he could finally connect on a lob pass. They tried for him 5 or 6 times. Finally, on this attempt, they're able to connect. And how about that for an injection of energy to take your team, a 12.5-point underdog in this game, into the half, up by 11 points.
David Bolden leads NJIT at the half. Awad leads NJIT, snuck up on us. 3 threes in that first half. He leads his team with 9 points going into the half. Day Reeves leads the game with 15 points going into halftime. That's it for us for the first half from the Rose Hill Gym. NJIT pulling off a shocker in that first half, 37-26. We're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a one-on-one halftime report from Nathan Rogers and Derek Ballou. Take it away, guys.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into WFUV's historic Rose Hill studio. I am your host, Nathan Rogers. Sitting next to Derek Bollier, we got Kurt Sipple behind the desk and Vanessa Kasuda working the graphics tonight. Before we get into breaking down that first half of the Magpayo era at Fordham University, we are going to hear a little snippet from Mike Magpayo himself, sitting down with Joe Henry and Chris Carino.
Taking you live before NJIT and Fordham Rams opening night with head coach. The pleasure of being joined by Fordham Rams head coach, Coach Mike Magpayo. Coach, an exciting night, an absolutely exciting night. What's one thing aside from basketball, not even attached to basketball, that you're just excited about today? Such a big day.
Yeah, just walking up to the gym just right now to Rose Hill and walking up the front steps the way that I did when I first got here for my press conference, and just always trying to keep things in perspective and be grateful for it. So, and even the chill of it, just like how it's not too cold, but it's a little chilly. Just never experienced that at Riverside, and so just that whole environment, New York City, just soaking it all in and walking up the stairs, opening the old doors to Rose Hill was pretty fun.
Yeah, you feel that college basketball weather in the air, sort of.
For sure.
You're 4-0 in openers as a head coach, but there's an asterisk there because that 5th one was your debut as a head coach, and you missed it because your wife was giving birth. how do you avoid as nerve-wracking a debut as a Fordham head coach and make it 5-0 in the win
Joe,
column?
I don't want to hear that. Somebody asked me about superstition. I was like, I don't want to hear that. Put that on the Zoom. I don't know that, and I don't want to hear that stat, but that's pretty cool. I know I always joke around. He's one of my best friends, my associate coach at that time, Mike Zeppel, lost that game at Pacific. I was in the hospital room, and then we came back and beat University of Washington in my first game, and that's another thing. That's what I was thinking about walking up. Having a baby at the start of my very first season as a head coach, it really kept things in perspective again. It was just like, there's so much more important things in life, and I was almost like giggling into my first few games as head coach 6 years ago. You got to play harder than them. That's key number. That's the overall theme of our keys. We have specific keys: defend, rebound, take care of the ball. That kind of fall in line there. But we got to be first to the floor. We have to win the rebounding battle. We just have to be the tougher team, and that's kind of been the emphasis over the last 2 days, because you don't know these guys, just like nobody knows each other. We're looking at some of the clips we're watching in Scout or AAU clips, from some of the guards. So you just don't know them as well. And what number one, this game demands our full attention. This team beat us 2 years ago, and it needs 40 minutes plus, whatever it takes, because they found a way to come back from, I believe, a 14-point deficit. So all of it, you know what I mean, trying to keep
in. Oh, he's in. Ashton Robinson, the ball-dominant guard for this team, NJIT, coming into town. Just in general, not even him, looking forward to the rest of the season. How are you going to deal with ball-dominant guards?
Man, it's going to be tough. It's not just the responsibility of who's guarding number 0, that's his number. It's a team effort, and I think that was good for us to experience 2 big-time scores in both scrimmages, and they kind of both went off, and we had to shut off the faucet. We didn't do the job in the first scrimmage, and then the second scrimmage we found a way. Team effort. There's some bodies out there. We got some big, strong guys. Somebody's going to have to step up to the plate and be the guy that's going to say, I'm going to stop guys defensively. And I think that, you don't know what it's like until you get out there, and our guys are still going to realize we have to find a way to defend. That's going to be our biggest deal, defending. And when a guy gets hot, you do not want him to get hot, because then he starts shooting from deep. And so number 0, Robinson, he is that guy for them. And trust me, there is an appropriate level of fear and making sure that we have full attention on stopping him.
You talked a lot about the importance of getting the ball inside, especially against an NJIT team that's not super experienced, and you said you have a lot of guys who, when they're in the post, aren't shy of passing out and finding an open 3. That could be a strength of you guys. How do you make sure that you make that strength into a winning strength today?
You just put it in the keys. It's just like attacking the paint is huge. Again, because you don't know, they have changing defenses and whatnot, and throwing the ball in the post. It's our power plan, basically. It's a little bit of a smash mouth part of the offense. It's just absolutely necessary for us to be successful. And I've been through teams where you don't think you have those guys, and you go away from it, and it really stunts your offense. And then, there was a team, I just talked about it a couple seasons ago, where we had a team that we said, you know what, we got to start throwing the ball in the post regardless of it, and it just changed the offense. We were a top 100 offense the last 10 games of the year. So you must have that angle of attack. I actually have an assistant coach whose job is to tell me how many power touches, are we getting the job done? Because all of us can lose it and start to drift away from it. Must get touches down there, and I even talked to the bigs about it. Get touches down there, because once you get a touchdown there, we call that a paint touch, and our offense after a paint touch is pretty good.
And Coach, from a Fordham fan perspective, an analytical change has seemed to be the most general term used the most. What does an analytical change look like on the court? What should Fordham fans expect as the difference in this new regime?
Yeah, all you have to go through right now is the off season and their numbers in the past, and you really can't see the data of your lineups and what works yet until really game 6, 7. But, we're trying to get a head start with our scrimmages and making sure that we know what's what, and we know who's takes care of the ball in practices. We know who are the better defenders. We know who are the better guys at guarding shooters. So all that's going into our coaching staff's plan, and even matchups and whatnot. But really where you get to, hopefully, is where who plays well together. This guy plays well with this guy, or these 3 guys, or these 2 bigs play well together. That'll be the deal. And so, I'd like to play with some pace today and see if that gets us somewhere with these guys, if we can get out in transition and get some open looks. But, analytically, we're going to be focused on having some balance. I didn't like our first scrimmage. 60% of our shots were threes. It's like, yeah, we love to shoot the three. I love it. And Coach Smith would always say that. But you better have a plan for twos and paint and power in the post and drawing fouls. So we'll be paying attention to the trends throughout the game as well.
A new era in the Bronx. The coach, Mike Magpayo era in the Bronx. Coach, thank you for the time. NJIT and Fordham coming up next on WFUV Sports.
Welcome back after that little soundbite from Mike Magpayo sitting down with Chris Carino and Joe Henry. NJIT is up 37-26 after Magpayo's first half with basically a whole new Fordham men's basketball team after last year's season, after they went 12-21, 3-15 in conference play, and they finished 15th in the A10 after losing in that second round. The NJIT Highlanders last year were 6-25, 3-13 in conference, and finished 9th in that AEC conference, American East Conference. It's the second meeting in 3 years between these two teams. Reeves has been the story for this Fordham men's basketball team in this first half, but it just doesn't seem like the identity of this team has been found yet. And notably so, there has been 10 new transfer players, 12 new overall players, and it just seems like they're not clicking on all cylinders. They're shooting 19% from three. Almost half of their whole shooting is from beyond the arc, and they're just not making anything. Players other than Reeves haven't made a three yet, and that is a staple of the Magpayo staff from his years at Columbia. Their staff during 5-on-5 scrimmages, they have different coaches for each statistic that they track. Rebounding, they have a defensive coach evaluating matchups and an offensive coach evaluating spacing, all for what Magpayo sees as relentless accountability on both sides of the ball. So, Derek, can you kind of talk to what this Fordham team needs to do in the second half to cut this deficit down and bring home a W first night at Rose Hill?
Well, I love how you mentioned the Magpayo system and what he likes to do. He does like the three ball, and he said that he actually was unhappy, which we just heard from in the soundbite. He was unhappy with the first scrimmage because they were shooting about 65% of their shots were three, and he said that you need to make sure you have a plan for if that three isn't working. You have plans for twos, and you have plans to get points for other ways. And this game seems like a test to that. They're currently 3 for 16 from three. Like you said, they're not shooting very well. Reeves is the only player with threes. He's 3 for 4. Everyone else is 0 for 12. So what they really need to do is they need to evaluate, realize that maybe there's a team chemistry issue or there's some kind of team issue and the three ball isn't working right now, and they need to find a way to get in the paint, put some pressure on this NJIT, so this defense, and just find a different way to score. Because clearly, if you're only Reeves currently has 15 points. No other player on this team has more than 2. There's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. No one else is scoring except Reeves. Reeves leaves the game pretty widely with 15 points, but you need to find some other way to score because clearly shooting this way for the whole rest of the game with NJIT also shooting over 50% from three, it's clearly not going to work. That's why you're down 11.
Yeah, and NJIT is missing their 2 best players tonight, Sebastian Robinson and Malvin Ibn Kolai, and still having the productive offense that they've needed to put up a double-digit lead on this Fordham Rams team. And I think Magpayo, and while he's in the locker room during this halftime, is he needs to talk to the guys and get more people involved because it can't just be a one-man show with Reeves out there opening night at Rose Thrill. We need that thrill back, and I think what Magpayo should be doing, like you said, get everyone involved. You might have to ditch that three ball and really just play that European style basketball that he's been talking about and he prides himself in and he prided himself in at UC Riverside, which is get everyone involved past the rock. One thing, though, that this Fordham Rams team has been doing well is rebounding. They've out-rebounded slightly this NJIT Highlanders team, and someone that has notably been carrying at the glass has been Schulte. And Ricka Schulte has had 7 rebounds so far, and I think he needs to get more involved on the glass, as well as, Louis Lesmond out of France. He's out of Harvard, too. He was a great player over at Harvard in the Ivy League. And I think even players like Zariq Nutter only has 2 points, and he's only taken 6 shots. He's 1 for 6, 16% from the field. A Georgia State transfer. He's had that experience. He's in his 6th year in college basketball. I know he can put up those numbers, so I think for the second half, my prediction is that more people will get involved. I think Reeves should dish it out into the paint, and like you said, basically just share the rock.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of guys who we know they have the ability. We've seen them come from other programs, and we know they have the ability to do what they need to do. We just haven't seen it so far. Maybe it is a team chemistry issue with them being so new to each other, but you just had it the first half of Magpayo basketball. You need to figure out in the second half how to come back from this 11-point deficit, and especially NJIT had a huge play at the end of that half. You need to find a way to recover from that because they had a huge momentum shift at the end of that half specifically. So Magpayo's got to talk to them a little bit, figure out something to do to come back in this second half.
Exactly. So that is going to do it for us at the historic Rose Hill studio for our one-on-one halftime report. For Derek Bullier, I'm Nathan Rogers. Let's send you back to the arena for more Fordham basketball on 90.7 with Chris Carino and Joe Henry.
Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, opening night for the Fordham Rams. They trail after a first half, 37-26 to the NJIT Highlanders. The Highlanders had a fantastic first half. We'll talk about all that and more. But first, we're going to send it for another sideline report with Alex Diaz. Take it away, Alex.
Coach Magpayo is not happy with how the end of the first half went. He said, quote, "These shots are out of character for us," and he believes his guys are rushing to take shots as opposed to creating openings. He has asked multiple times of his guys to slow their game down and create opportunities. Bench morale was a bit down to end the first half with a lot of players taking responsibility for missteps, but it's only up to them to make the changes translate onto the court. For this team, it's about building piece by piece, and in part they are doing just that, but they need to continue to push and play their game, something Coach didn't think they were doing in the first half. Look for the Rams to come out of the gates in the second half and show off their newly created Fordham brand of basketball. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Fantastic as always. Joe, it was not a good half for the Rams. Can't really sugarcoat how badly that half went for Coach Magpayo and his group. Alex briefly touched on it there, but from what you've gathered from Coach Magpayo and the identity he wants to create, how off-brand truly was that first half?
I mean, disjointed, dysfunctional, the only words that you could use to describe not just the offense, but also the performance in some of those hustle areas when the ball gets inside and you're on defense. Battling for a rebound, getting out in transition. An explosion from NJIT late in that half. They make 6 of their last 7 from the field, 4 of their last 5 from distance. They're getting out faster than Fordham in transition, and on offense, when a guy not named Day-Day Reeves has the ball, it's been dysfunctional. As a team, Fordham shooting 33%. If you take away Reeves, they are 5 for 25, 20% from the field. They are 0 for 9 from three-point land. Without Reeves, that is their biggest strong suit as a team, three-point shooting. Someone needs to find something. Schulte needs to be more aggressive on his paint touches, and he needs to get more of them. Nutter and Henry have struggled at point guard. Akira Jacobs as a corner shooter is 0 for 4. To avoid embarrassment on opening night, Fordham needs to find answers, and Chris, they need to find them fast.
And Joe, you brought up Day-Day Reeves. If there was one bright spot in that first half for the Rams, it was Day-Day Reeves, their star player, their star transfer from Iona. He was 6 for 8 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, 15 points in that first half. As good as you could expect him to be in this first game.
And this is his first time ever as a basketball player playing point guard, and he's the only bright spot on this Fordham team.
A wing scorer in his time last year at Iona. He'll start the second half with the ball, deep on the right wing for the Fordham offense. 37-26. Pass in the right corner. Kira Jacobs inside in the right block. Nutter working inside the paint. No good on the shot, but fouled, and he'll go to the line once again. Joe 0 for 2, his first time at the line. He wants to do better here.
You need to make your free throws, but I love that that's the first play they drop. Get Nutter a touch on the low block. Let him go to work. He's so efficient when he's working out of the post. He's a willing passer. This time he senses a mismatch on Fulton. He goes up, he draws the contact, but now he needs to hit these shots. Fordham's 1 for 4 from the line.
Nutter makes the first. Big free throw there for the Rams. As I said before, Nutter drawing 6.3 fouls per 40 minutes last season. Drawing fouls definitely a big aspect of his offensive game. Second one good from the Rams as well.
And that's such an asset when you can make your free throws.
Yeah, Nutter 2 for 2 at the line, 37-28. NJIT lead, 19:40 to go in this second half.
Fordham bringing out the full court press for the first time.
Yeah, full court press from Reeves and Nutter. Nutter engaged defensively. Now on the right wing, Rogers, guarded by Nutter, driving baseline, back out, left corner. Clayville driving baseline as well, back out, Bolden 3, it's good! Bolden, right wing beyond the arc 3, and what a wild possession for NJIT offensively, ending in a 3. Reeves driving baseline, getting inside, absorbing contact, and finishing. Around 3 NJIT defenders picked him up, it didn't matter.
It feels like he just senses when he needs to do something offensively, when he needs to make a play. And talk about making a play, Chris.
Day Reeves getting a turnover in the backcourt. Bolden letting that one go out of bounds, and Day Reeves forcing a turnover.
He is taking over this game by himself.
Reeves will take it out. Give it to Rikus Schulte, his big man. Back to Day. Day Reeves picked up by a double team. Jacobs, touch pass. Nutter right corner 3, no good. Bolden has it on the glass. Gets it up ahead quickly. Fulton resets play after the quick outlet pass. Bolden has it now, top of the arc. Bolden deep left wing. Pass on the right wing. Arrington back to Bolden. Bolden picked up by Day Reeves. Day Reeves tips the pass. Kira Jacobs tried to reach in for the loose ball. Ends up picking a foul on the top of the arc. That one was on Jordan Rogers.
But so much better ball deterrence from Fordham. Reeves has been so active. Ball denial, getting his hand in the passing lane, making life tough. NJIT has looked a little bit slower offensively to adjust to Fordham bringing this press and the intensity.
Fordham with a new energy in this second half. Bolden tries to get it in. Rikus Schulte steals it top of the arc. Tries to finish on the other end. Is fouled. Doesn't make the shot, but he'll go to the line for 2. Good work there defensively from Rikus Schulte, forcing the turnover.
I mean, this is a center sprinting out, tipping an inbounds pass, and taking it coast to coast for the finish, drawing the contact. He doesn't have that soft touch, so he can't get it to go, but 2 shots at the line for Schulte.
Schulte, no stranger to the Atlantic 10, started his college career at Davidson. First commit of the Magpayo era to be officially announced in the offseason. No good on the first free throw for him there.
Magpayo said that him and Reeves were the most consistent players Fordham has had over the summer and fall period. He actually won the Hustle King Award this week.
Great, won that award for his great work on the glass this offseason. He'll get another chance at the free throw. A lane violation on the second miss for Schulte. Schulte misses the second free throw. Lane violation. He'll go get another try.
Yeah, Jordan Rogers patting his chest there. He stepped in the lane.
And it's good. Rikus Schulte taking advantage of the NJIT mistake. And the Fordham Rams back within single digits. 40-31, 18-26 to go in this second half.
Full court press again. You need to get a stop. NJIT has made 7 of its last 8.
Day Reeves described as a defensive menace on his press release when joining Fordham. Bolden dribble handoff on the right wing and an offensive foul. Bolden hip checking the defender. Zarik Nutter running around, and that'll be an offensive foul. Another unearned mistake for this NJIT team.
And that starts with Day Reeves. So tight in his pressure on David Bolden, the true freshman, makes him uncomfortable on that dribble handoff on the right wing. He lobs the ball up on the dribble handoff. The screener feels the need to compensate and stick his backside out, makes the extra contact.
Jacobs to Lesmond, back up top, Day Reeves to Schulte. Schulte ball above his head, dribble handoff to Nutter. Nutter driving through the middle of the lane, trying to finish on the right side of the rim. No good on his layup, but he'll get fouled once again, and he'll go to the line for the 3rd time this evening.
That's the Zarik Nutter that this team needs to see. You might hear it a lot this season, Chris. I'll warn you now. Nutter butter.
Ooh.
It's like butter when this guy drives inside. He creates lanes into the cup. He draws the contact. More often than not, he finishes. We've seen him get to the line 3 times now.
Nutter 2 for 4 at the line so far tonight. Makes that one. Now 3 for 5 at the line. Head coach of NJIT, Grant Billmeyer, really upset after that last turnover. It's been a mounting problem so far in the second half. NJIT on offense. Billmeyer not happy. Second free throw is good. 2 for 2 at the line for Nutter. 40-33 NJIT leads. 18 minutes to go in this second half. Fordham creeping closer and closer. Bolden trying to get into the front court on Day Reeves. Eventually does. Bolden going right around the screen. Now in the middle of the paint. Back out. Touch pass, left corner, no good on the 3. It was Fulton on the miss. Day Reeves will have it the other way for Fordham offensively. Day going right around a Schulte screen. Top of the arc 3. No good. Defender sagged. He took it. No good. Nutter on the offensive rebound. Tracked it down in the right corner. He now has it on the baseline. Working on his defender. Back out to Jacobs. Lesmond. Dribble handoff to Reeves. He'll reset the offense. He'll prance on the Fordham logo. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Driving to the left side of the lane. Stopping. Turning. Pass inside to Schulte. Good on his shot, but it won't go. It won't go. It'll be a shot clock violation on the Rams. And a good offensive possession, just not quick enough for the Rams.
They're going to go to the monitor for review. I don't think he got this shot off.
I don't think he got it off either.
It was a good find from Day Reeves. He was tied up inside after he got onto the low block, and then he was matched with the bigger defender. He tried to bump off of him, create some space. He couldn't. It took a few seconds for him to do that. By the time he made the decision to pass out to Schulte, there was already just 1 second on the shot clock.
And Joe, you've talked about rebounds all evening long. That rebound statistic starting to turn around for the Rams. 24 rebounds to NJIT's 21, 7 offensive rebounds to NJIT's 2. I brought it up at the earlier stages of this game. Magpayo, from an objective point of view, wants to have good transition defense and offensively rebound the ball. It seems, at least from an offensive rebound perspective, he's doing that.
They are, but when you can't turn those into good looks on your end, it doesn't mean all that much. I feel like on the offensive rebounds Fordham has gotten, they haven't been able to get these wide open looks of them. That's what you talk about. You get an offensive rebound, somewhere someone's going to be open. They haven't found that guy.
NJIT with a few guys out of the lineup tonight. Sebastian Robinson, their leading scorer and star, out, along with Melvin Abankoli. Abankoli and Robinson slated out right before this game started. 40-33, Rams still trail. Some tenacious defense in the backcourt from Day Reeves and Akira Jacobs. Bolden splits them and gets into the front court. Outlet pass, Fulton in the middle of the paint. Thought he got to travel, ends up getting away with it. Day steals it. Reeves on the steal, on the pass, he broke it up. Fordham now has it offensively. Jariq Nutter has it in the right post, and a foul. Nutter approaching the middle of the paint and is called, and gets called as a victim for the reach-in.
Yeah, Rogers is looking around like, what? He grabbed the backside of Nutter's jersey as he tried to whip around him.
Rogers had a handful.
Side. He was on the left side of the block. He was trying to work to the right side of the block. Rogers was trying to deter him by holding the jersey.
Jordan Rogers picking up a bigger role this year in his sophomore season. Only Highlander to play in every game last season. Nutter, guarded by Rogers, takes the pull-up mid-ranger. No good for Nutter. And that'll be another miss for the Fordham Rams offensively. NJIT has it.
And getting in the paint has been working for you. Just drive there.
Rogers, top of the arc, pass from Bolden. Now on the left wing, Fulton. Stopping at the top of the key, tries a crossover, stops, back out, Clayville. Guarded by the much bigger Jariq. Right wing 3, no good off the backboard. Fulton on the offensive glass. His putback is good. Aggressive, tenacious offensive glass work gets NJIT the bucket.
I mean, that's just inexcusable. He's a good rebounder, Fulton, but you have to box out in that situation.
Reeves on the right wing, guarded closely by Clayville. Driving through the right side of the lane. Stops, makes the mid-ranger. Day Reeves creating separation and hitting the shot.
He's so calm. He just sent his defender to the floor and calmly placed the ball in the net without touching the rim. And then applies a full court press a little too aggressive.
Full court press. I was about to say, full court press a little too aggressive. Picks up the foul on Bolden. After that Day mid-ranger, a 7-point deficit for the Rams. 42-35, 15:47 to go in this second half. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey Devils fans, Tucker Austin here from WFUV Sports, one of your New Jersey Devils beat reporters for the 2025-26 season. From Hughes Brothers Havoc to Heischer hat tricks and Markstrom masterclasses, I'll have you covered live from the Prudential Center for all things Jersey hockey. Follow me on X at @Taustin_24, where I'll have live game updates, analysis, and post-game coverage all season long as the Black and Red look to bring Lord Stanley back to the Rock. WFUV Sports is your home for everything New Jersey Devils.
Chris Carino joined by Joe Henry here in the Bronx. Fordham Rams trail 42-35 in their season opener to the NJIT Highlanders. Joe, it was a really disappointing first half. It seems like Fordham's been making up some ground at the early stages of the second half.
They are. The energy has been way, way better in these first 5 minutes than it was in the last 15 or so. In the first half, the made baskets need to follow. Fordham's still really struggling from all aspects offensively. They're one of their last 4 from the field, but from beyond the arc, which again is this team's biggest strong suit offensively, they are now 1 for their last 14. Still, a player not named Day-Day Reeves has not made a three-point shot. If you exclude Day-Day Reeves' three-point shooting, this team is 0 for 13 from beyond the arc. Nutter, who attempted just 1 a game last year, has already taken and missed 3, and he's missed them fairly badly. Schulte has taken and missed a 3. Akira Jacobs is 0 for 4. Louis Lesmond, who's a good corner shooter, is 0 for 2. Jace Howard has taken and missed 1. Marcus Green, who was lights out all offseason in practice, 0 for 1. Ryan Pettis, who they want to shoot more, 0 for 1. Someone needs to start making some shots if Fordham wants to continue eating into this deficit.
And Joe, on the other side, 7 for 14. NJIT shooting the 3-ball really well. That's been led by Rocco Awad, the freshman.
And Awad has come in, and he's only gotten a few touches in all of them. He's just thrown the ball up, and it's gone in.
Awad getting more minutes now here in the second half. Bolden receiving it on the dribble handoff, top of the arc. Trying to find Awad. He does on the dribble handoff. Back to Bolden, right wing. Bolden, jab step, and drives left. Stops at the free throw line, spins, puts up the floater, no good. Schulte fighting with Bolden on the glass. He was thrown to the ground. Eventually, they'll stay with NJIT after the jump ball call. Thought it would be a foul call.
Yeah, I was expecting a foul too. Schulte, who is a big, big guy, came crashing to the ground off of that. You don't usually see that on a jump ball.
David Bolden, the true freshman, showing some strength. Awad gets it in right corner. Bolden inside on the right block. Fulton working on Zarik. Trying to get it on Nutter, and it's blocked. Nutter said absolutely not. He has it offensively, left wing. Backing down his defender in the post, jumping at the rim. No good on the contested layup. Day-Day's there on the offensive glass. Fordham still has it for a second chance. Phelps and Magpayo getting active on that sideline. Reeves, top of the arc, going left around a Schulte screen. Stopping in the mid-range. Looking for a pass, finds Nutter. Left post, spinning baseline, putting up a shot and hitting. Zarik Nutter, defensively and offensively, giving his team a spark.
He's getting touches in the mid-range, but the closer he gets to the basket, the higher his efficiency is. Get inside, Zarik Nutter.
And the closer the Rams get, 42-37 NJIT lead. Awad, left corner 3 is good, plus the foul. Rocco Awad, the true freshman, gets it and lets it fly.
I think he has touched the ball 5 times. He's shot the ball 4 times. On 3 of those 4 shots, he had a hand in his face. On this one, he had a hand on his elbow, and he's made every single one. This is a freshman who wasn't expected to even play today.
The Windsor native putting people on notice this evening. The way he's played this evening, Joe, he has to be in the future plans of this program.
Absolutely, and he's held his own. They haven't attacked him much as Fordham. Defensively, I'd like to see them give him some more tests. He's not a huge guy, but he's held his own.
Misses the free throw there, off back iron, couldn't complete the three-point play. Score stays the same, 45-37, 14 and a half to go in the second half. Reaching crunch time of opening night. Christian Henry faking left, going right, out in the left corner. Green 3, it's good! Fordham gets a 3 and gets back within 5, 45-40, 14-15 to go in this second half.
It's about time Marcus Green, one of the best three-point shooters 2 years ago, finally gets one in.
Green with tenacious defense on Bolden, top of the arc. Schulte picks up the double team. Bolden dribbling around them both and finishes with a floater. Bolden dribbling through the right side of the lane and finishing. It was pretty.
I can't believe this is this kid's first ever college game. He's so nice.
And looks so composed. Green has it on the right wing. Inside right block, Akira Jacobs driving and finishing on the contested play from Malachi Arrington. Arrington, great defense, not great enough.
Use your length, Akira Jacobs. 6'11", get inside.
Bill Meyer is hot on the NJIT sideline. Top of the arc, Duncan tried to get in the left corner. Massive collision there, ends up in a foul. It'll stay with NJIT. Foul going on Zarik Nutter.
Good energy defensively from Nutter. His defense hasn't been exceptional through the first 27 minutes of play, but he dives there. He lays out on a pass to try and get a tip. He can. He ends up accidentally tripping Bolden. But that's the kind of foul you're okay with giving. A high-energy hustle foul.
Four Fordham Rams with 2 fouls. Jacobs, Howard, Henry, and Green all with 2 fouls. No one to quite keep an alarm on. Another 3, no good in the left corner. Every time Awad jumps, you gotta be on it. Christian Henry, right wing, working for Fordham now. In the right block, tenaciously poked at. Awad ends up picking up the reach-in foul after the heavy defense. Still 47-42 NJIT lead over the Rams. 13:08 to go in the second half.
And he's clearly frustrating defenders as Awad, and you just wouldn't expect it from a guy who's literally never played a college game, but he's coming in here against these guys with 4, 5, even 6 years of college experience and giving them trouble in the mid-post.
David Bolden, truly a surprise this evening. Christian Henry on the right side of the baseline, under the basket, under his own basket, to Schulte. Schulte, right wing behind the arc, dribble handoff to Henry. Henry thought about it, then drove. Blocked! A stare down from Rocco Awad after the block. What a play after Henry drives through the lane. Awad absolutely denies it.
This freshman has some nerve, does he not? First 4 touches are made threes. He fouls Henry in the next play. He blocks it. He steps over him and stares at him.
And a little stare at Marcus Green after he takes his defensive assignment back on the inbound. Kid's got some stuff about him. Nutter in the right corner on the inbound. Drives baseline. Tries to make room to get to the basket. He can't finish. NJIT going the other way. Rogers, outlet pass. 3 Duncan. No good from the right wing. Offensive rebound. Second chance for NJIT. Bolden on the left wing. Pump fakes and drives. No good on his floater. Eventually, Fordham grabs it. Competitive work on the glass. Nutter up ahead. Pettis pump fakes on the left wing and then brings it back out to Henry. Both teams will take a breath. Henry standing directly next to his head coach, deep on the left wing, and moves out to the top of the arc. Gives hand signals to the rest of the guys off the ball. Henry for Fordham goes right around a Schulte screen. Looks to drive in the paint. He did drive, put up a floater, no good on the shot, but he's fouled. Awad, more tenacious defense. That time he's called for the foul.
There's a good action drawn up by Magpayo. He intentionally forced Christian Henry to slow down. He said, hey, let me call this play. He orchestrates the offense, gets Schulte coming up, setting that right side screen on Henry's dominant hand. He gets to drive right side where he's comfortable. Schulte's shielded off where he can't finish off a potential lob on the roll. Henry decides to take it.
Henry no good from the line once again. Now 1 of 3 from the line this evening. Fordham Rams struggling in general from the line all afternoon long.
These are big minutes here for Abbas Bodijo's coming in for Rika Schulte. He needs to be able to hold his own defensively. NJIT has been way too good on the offensive glass.
Haven't seen Abbas Bodija since the first half. He now subs in for his first second half minutes. Fordham Rams 6 for 11, now 6 for 12 from the line. Score stays the same, 47-42 NJIT, 12-13 to go in this second half. Pass deep on the right wing to Duncan. Duncan guarded by Pettis. Now top of the arc, Arrington. Arrington, dribble handoff to Awad. Awad, pass on the right wing. Rogers pump fakes, then fakes right, goes left. Finds his way in the middle of the paint, puts up a floater, no good. Bodija on the glass. Fordham now moving the other way. Henry driving through the middle of the lane in transition, tried to lay off a pass. It was unsuccessful. Bodija got it back. Bodija hollers, so there wasn't a shot from Lesmond. You could hear it on the microphone. Bodija with that deep voice, you can hear it from here. Henry goes around to Bodija's screen. Now finds himself in the right wing, out to Pettis. His 3, no good. Bodija once again on the glass. His putback, no good, but he'll go to the line for 2. Bodija 2 offensive glass chances there and 2 extra chances for the Fordham offense.
What do we say? Big minutes for the big man Bodija. 2 boards in 1 possession, draws the foul, forces the media timeout. That's the jolt this Fordham team needed.
Fordham creeping closer on NJIT. NJIT leads 47-42, 11:26 to go in this second half. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Over on the women's courts, your Fordham Rams took down Adelphi 60-51 in the Rose Hill Gym last night. In their first game of the season, George Mason loses to Temple in overtime 94-85. The Patriots' Zahira Walton's 31 points could not push them over the hump. Loyola Chicago traveled to Milwaukee and took down the Panthers 59-55 after taking the lead with only a minute left in the fourth quarter. Lastly, for yesterday, St. Louis fell to Missouri State in Springfield 70-66 with 24 and 22 from Nugent and Nelson. Still on the court, St. Joe's are holding on against Westchester currently 29-26 at halftime. And then earlier tonight, Richmond took a commanding early lead and did not look back against Mount St. Mary's, winning 83-49. Speaking of Virginia, today is election day for many state governors, where Abigail Spanberger officially becomes the first female Virginia governor. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Derek Boyer.
Thank you, Derek. As always, on the update, 47-42, NJIT still leads the Fordham Rams, 11:26 to go in this second half. Heard Derek give some of the election news so far today. Election day on this Tuesday. As he said, Virginia getting their first, female mayor, correct? Yes. That's very big news. A big election, governor's election in my home state of New Jersey. NJIT's home state, a big mayoral election, as we know, here in the city. Big day for politics all across the country.
Big day for politics, big week for politics, how about a big week for basketball?
Yeah,
no coincidence that these coincide.
No coincidence whatsoever, and a big night for NJIT. NJIT leading the Rams by 5 with 11 minutes to go in this one. Joe, it's been a tenacious effort all evening long, but specifically the last couple of minutes, we've seen this NJIT team really sparkle.
I mean, they're just scrapping. This is an NJIT team that a couple years ago, under Bill Meyer, earned him his second ever career win in an upset of Fordham. And now this team's almost entirely different this year. But Fordham is in the exact opposite position. NJIT came from 14 behind. Fordham now is tasked with doing effectively the same thing. Time is running out for the Rams. They've got it from 11 at halftime now to 5. The time to make your run is now.
As you said, Fordham lost to this NJIT team 2 years ago. No crossover from a player perspective, but Coach Magpayo told us he made sure his players knew and remembered that, and made sure to have it in their back of their heads this afternoon. Bodija at the line, first free throws of the afternoon, makes the first. Now 3 points and 4 rebounds on the evening. Big free throws for the Rams. That cut it to 4. Going to try and cut it to 3 with his second. Coach Magpayo in full suit on the sideline. Dare I say Keith Ergo-esque with his Jordan 1 lows as the second free throw is made as well. Out of bounds on the inbound. It'll stay with NJIT, or no, it'll go toward Fordham. Oh no, it'll stay with NJIT. Referees doing some trickery there. It'll stay with NJIT. Pettis, good job in the backcourt defensively. That pass quickly to Duncan in the front court. Right wing 3 is good. Duncan caught it on the inbound on the right wing and hit it immediately. Coach Magpayo not happy, calling timeout almost immediately.
4 seconds have elapsed since the last timeout, and Mike Magpayo just called another one after one possession. You think he wants to harp to his team that when you're full court pressing, you can't leave a man wide open at half court who's a 43% three-point shooter, so we can walk in wide open 3 from the right wing? That's his money shot.
And aside from the transitional struggles we just saw, Joe, what are the other things that TCNJ is doing well offensively to keep their score at where it is? TCNJ. I said I would do it once today. Shout out Michael G. and Caspro. NJIT.
But what they're doing well is a team that has virtually no collegiate experience against one of the most experienced teams in the country just looks as composed, if not more composed. They're winning in the hustle categories, the kind of things you'd expect a young, scrappy team to do. But specifically when you look at their point guard, David Bolden, in his first ever collegiate game, for him to be thrown these double teams, be thrown these hedges off of screens and handle them perfectly every time, it's giving this NJIT offense exactly what it needs. They have a guy handling the ball who they can trust. How often can you say that about a guy making his first ever start as a college player. And with that, Chris, let's check in on the third member of a crew. Alex Diaz has walked over from the Fordham bench. What do you have for us, Alex?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk on this bench about playing together. This team fully believes as long as they play together, they can compete. And this team really wants to play hard for one another. Coach Magpayo told his guys to continue how they started this half. He's okay with them slowing down on offense to get set as long as they are creating scoring chances. He wants them as well to keep driving to the basket and feeding passes down low. He also thinks his bigs are doing a really good job of fighting physically and driving to the net, but also thinks that they've been making good decisions in their passes when they do get stuck. He is not happy with the fouling on defense, though, and he thinks that they can play better physically and not foul. Coach also believes that the officiating has been a bit rough, believes his team should have gotten a bit more calls under the basket, but nonetheless, Fordham came out of the gates in the second half competitive, and they need to continue to try to dictate the flow of this game. Joe, back to you.
Thanks, Alex. Look, we knew that this Fordham team might have to shake off some rust. They were returning 1% of their minutes from last year, pretty much exclusively Ryan Pettis. You sprinkle in a little Jamison O'Toole and Max Miller, the walk-ons. But this is the first time that this team has had a taste of real basketball and real hoops in the Rose Hill Gym, too, with a full crowd watching. The expectations are high. You could expect some rust. Nothing we expected quite like this. You can see Magpayo still pretty optimistic. And one thing I'll say, Chris, that I think Fordham has done really well in the past few minutes is making sure they get their paint touches. Magpayo harped on it so much for this game. Get your post players the ball in the post where they can operate. Tariq Nutter's done an exceptional job there in the past few minutes. They need to continue doing that if they want to continue trimming down this lead.
Tariq Nutter will inbound it in the backcourt for the Fordham Rams. Christian Henry will bring it up for Fordham. 50-44, NJIT leads, 11:15 to go in this second half. Day Reeves on the right wing, back up top to Henry. Henry going left around a Bowditch screen, back top of the arc. Day Reeves around the right side of the lane, gets a pass poked away by Bolden, and Bolden is fouled after the play. Bolden continuing to make an impact, especially defensively.
And he looks like Day Reeves out there.
He truly does.
A floor general on offense, and on defense, he's been a pest. He has 3 steals.
It's Jordan Rogers taking it out directly in front of us here. Bolden take it out from the backcourt, moving into the front court, deep on that left wing. Now at the top of the arc, guarded by Day Reeves. A lot of movement off the ball.
Action for a wad. Didn't get it to him.
Couldn't find him. Duncan now has it, right corner. Pump fakes a 3. Gives it to Rogers, right wing, same spot. Rogers, guarded by Jacobs, drives inside. Middle of the paint, spinning, finishing on the right side of the rim. No good on the shot. Rebound brought down by Fordham. They go the other way. Day Reeves, stopping at the right wing. Picked up by a big man, passes it back out to Henry. Henry, crossover left to right at the free throw line, back out to Reeves. Reeves guarded by the freshman Awad, going through the left side of the lane, no good at the rim. Bowditch on the offensive glass. He puts it up after a spin. No good, nothing but glass on the putback. NJIT going the other way. Outlet pass to Rogers, who slams it on Bowditch. What a play from NJIT. They get the battery in their back every time they need it. 52-44, NJIT leads. 9:56 to go in this second half. Day Reeves has it on the right wing for Fordham. To Bowditch in the right post for Fordham. He drives inside. Skyhook in the lane is good. Seems to have hurt himself after the shot. Bowditch came off gingerly after the shot. A beautiful skyhook in the lane, and that might be some trouble for the Fordham Rams.
He's favoring his left leg. He had grabbed at his left hamstring, but the way that he's walking, heel to toe, implies maybe an issue in the calf. Hopefully just cramps. Becca Davis, Fordham's trainer, is tending to him. He has to come out of this game.
And Bowditch will go into the locker room. He'll be replaced by Rika Schulte. Bolden, deep on the right wing to Fulton, same spot on the right wing, guarded by the much smaller Reeves, bullying Reeves inside, no good on the floater. Lesmond tried to track it down, Awad did offensively, second chance for NJIT. Bolden has it on the left wing. Trying to go around a screen, takes a 3 instead, and hits it. Bolden, nothing but net, not the first time tonight. And that brings NJIT back out to a 6-point lead, 55-46, or a 9-point lead, my mistake, 55-46, 9:12 to go in this second half. NJIT creating more and more separation.
That's 2 timeouts in a span of 2 minutes called by Coach Magpayo right after a media timeout. So 3 stoppages in 2 minutes. The reason why they are getting bodied on the boards by a true freshman who didn't even play much this past year at any level. Comes in, Zach Scherler, the 6'11 big man, who probably wasn't anticipated to play today, has bodied them on the boards, even when he doesn't get credited for a rebound. He's gotten these tip outs, they've gotten second chances, they've cashed in, something Fordham has not done well enough at.
And the front court's objectively a question for this team, Joe. The backcourt has a lot of experience, has a lot of skill, not a lot of question marks there, but the front court for this team, specifically their internal defense, is going to be a question mark all season long.
Definitely. You see some positives from Bodija in this game. When they get Jack Whitbourne back, that's going to be a huge plus for them. But they need guys like Zariq Nutter, like Akira Jacobs, to be able to step up in the post defensively. They've done that in the second half well enough.
Akira takes it out right in front of us. Henry will bring it up for the Rams. 55-46, Rams down by 9 minutes to go in the second half. Day has it, top of the arc, guarded by Bolden. In the right corner, Lesmon's three, no good on the catch and shoot. Bolden on the rebound.
They drew up a great look for him off the curl on the baseline.
Bolden has it for NJIT, his 8th rebound of the evening. Day Reeves a little overzealous defensively. That one's out of bounds. It'll stay with NJIT. Poked it away.
I like it, though. Just getting a guy who's totally in rhythm out of his rhythm a little bit.
Be inbounded on our sideline. Ari Fulton will be inbounding it in the front court for NJIT. 55-46, still a 9-point lead for NJIT. 8:48 to go in this second half. Rogers gets it out of the left wing. Stops at the left block, passes it to a cutting Fulton. He's no good. Great contest from Fordham inside. Now on the fast break, Nutter and Reeves. Nutter finishes it. Nutter climbs the imaginary ladder and finishes with a ferocious right-hand slam.
That's the momentum play your team needs.
55-48, 7-point lead for NJIT. 8:20 to go in this second half. Bolden has it on the right wing, guarded by Reeves. Top of the key, Awad. Skip pass to Rogers, left wing, guarded by the bigger Jacobs. Rogers stopping on the left wing, pass to Awad. Wad back to Rogers, driving inside, gets bumped and makes the shot. We'll see if it's on the floor or the shot counts. Akira Jacobs on the foul either way. We'll see what they call. And the foul. The shot counts. And Rogers will go to the line to complete a 3-point play.
I mean, I think he took 2 steps after that whistle was blown. He put the fist up to suggest it was a shooting foul, but then he took an additional step because you thought he was going to shoot on that first step. He took another one, then he put it up, then it rattled around the rim for 3 seconds. Ended up going in 5 seconds after the whistle was blown. A brutal momentum killer for a Fordham crowd that had just finally had something to cheer for.
Rogers, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists in this one. His first time at the free throw line. And now a small conference being had by NJIT Highlanders head coach Grant Billmeyer. Not sure if this is a timeout. There's just 2 small huddles happening on the hardwood.
They were clarifying who the foul was against. They end up giving it to Akira Jacobs. Really no one's in foul trouble on this Fordham side until now. Akira Jacobs just picked up his 3rd. No one else has more than 2.
4 players with 2 fouls. None of them went over the cusp of that 3rd foul until then with Akira Jacobs. Rogers, as I said, going to the line for the first time this evening. 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists after the 3-point play. Now 7 points. Rogers having a very well-rounded evening. NJIT building to their lead, building on their lead, 58-48, back to double digits. 8 minutes to go in the second half. Christian Henry, top of the key, guarded by the young Awad. Henry directing his off-ball players. Pass in the right corner, Day Reeves. He drives baseline, stops, behind the back dribble, and pull-up shot is good. Pull-up mid-range is good for Day Reeves. That behind-the-back dribble is so good at creating separation.
Just nasty from 14 feet out on the baseline against a bigger defender.
Bolden settling on the left wing. Dribble handoff Fulton. Fulton now has it. Top of the arc, looking for a pass, can't find one. Eventually gets Bolden, deep left wing. Bolden takes a long 3. It's good! David Bolden wasn't being guarded from 30, so he thought, why not?
From the logo, Chris.
61-50 NJIT, 7 minutes to go in this second half. Henry drives baseline, out to Schulte, right wing. He'll dribble handoff to Nutter, fakes it. To Day, left corner. Day driving middle of the lane, Pass into Schulte on the left block. That one will go through his legs and will stay with the Rams. Out of bounds.
Wow.
Timeout from the Fordham Rams on the floor. This game, I think, is getting away from the Rams a little bit.
It is. Time is seriously running out. You have 7 minutes now to climb back from an 11-point deficit. That's the same deficit you had 13 minutes ago entering half number 2. This is a nightmare scenario on opening night. This was supposed to be a celebration for Fordham.
Fordham faithful not happy. 61-50 NJIT, the traveling NJIT Highlanders, leading by 11 over the hosting Fordham Rams. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Diaz.
And I'm Mary Hannah Gallagher.
And we're the hosts of All In, a women's sports podcast.
On All In, we discuss everything women's sports, from the WNBA, the AUSL, and NWSL.
No matter the sport, we have you covered.
You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your podcasts.
All In is a production of WFUV Sports.
Back here at the historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University. Cotton Eye Joe kicking in between during a timeout here in the gym. NJIT leading 61-50 over the Fordham Rams, 6:54 to go in this second half. NJIT got that 11-point lead from an absolute bomb from David Bolden right before going into the timeout.
This kid, I can't say enough about him. He's playing his first ever D1 game against a team ranked over 100 spots higher than them in Ken Palm, a team that was supposed to beat them by double digits. He's filling in last second for their point guard who is out. And he comes in 18 points on 7 of 12 shooting, 4 made threes, including a logo bomb to quiet the crowd, 7 boards as a 6-foot flat point guard, 3 steals, 3 assists, just 1 foul in 30 minutes. He's almost outperforming Day Reeves, who has been the engine of this Fordham offense. He is 21 of 9 of 13. He's got 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. These 2 point guards going at it, Chris.
And Joe, we saw more production from Clayville, Awad, other guards on this team. It seems that Bolden's really taken on the responsibility down the stretch of this one.
Yeah, I thought if NJIT wanted to win this game, Clayville would have to go off, but he hasn't made a single 3.
Awad he's made 3 on the evening so far. He brings up the ball for NJIT. Has it deep on the right wing, guarded by Lesmond. A much longer Lesmond. Bolden now has it top of the arc, guarded by Reeves. Bolden, crossover right to left, pass to Rogers. Left wing, dribble handoff. Fulton passing back to Bolden, top of the arc, guarded tightly by Reeves. Takes the long range 3, no good, air ball. And NJIT picked it up on the offensive glass, ended up not having enough time. Fordham will get it back anyway.
Day Reeves learned his lesson there. A hand in his face. He might have even got a piece of that shot at the logo.
Good work from Fordham defensively. They get the ball back. 61-50. Fordham still trails 6:19 to go in this fourth quarter. Jariq Nutter in the right post, backing down, working on Bolden, and finishing at the rim.
That's a fantastic call out of a timeout. Get the ball in Nutter's hand with some speed, off a switch on the smaller Bolden. Go to work on the young man.
Rams cut it back to single digits, 61-52. 6 minutes to go in this second half. A lot of time. Pass in the left block to Fulton. Fulton working on Henry, back out, right corner. Rogers pump faking, driving inside. Pass inside to Arrington, who finishes at the rim. Awkward lob pass, got it inside. Eventually Arrington finished.
Schulte came over late in the help. He got a piece of the initial, but then Arrington's wide open underneath.
Nutter, dribble handoff. Eventually the ball ends up with Henry, top of the arc. Guarded by the freshman Awad. Cut off by Awad. Step back mid-ranger, no good off front rim. Rogers on the defensive glass. NJIT back with the ball. Another stop defensively. Still 63-52. 5:20 to go in this second half. NJIT leading Fordham. Rogers moving left to right on Lesmond. Lesmond steals it. Poked it away, now Fordham ball. Henry in transition to Lesmond. Left wing, back to Henry, top of the key. Henry will reset the offense to Nutter in the right post. Backing down Bolden, no good at the rim. Putback no good as well. Reek gets no good on the putback. Zarik has it again. No good on that one. Finally, Schulte gets it to go. A whistle directly after the basket. Thought it might have been a technical. It was not. Regardless, Schulte finished the 4th putback of that possession.
My goodness. Nutter miss, Schulte rebound. Nutter miss, Nutter rebound. Schulte miss, Nutter rebound. Nutter miss, Schulte tip-in.
And David Bolden, been so important for this NJIT team. He's limping on the court. He was calling for help from his coaching staff. Looked like his coaching staff was almost ignoring him. They've loved having him on the floor so much.
Not taking you out.
Yeah. Nonetheless, he ends up coming off the floor. Have Jeremy Clayville come on for him. He'll bring up the ball. Guarded tightly by Day Reeves. Clayville deep on the right wing to Fulton. Fulton. Pass up top to Arrington. Skip pass to Rogers. Rogers had the top of the key. Going around the screener, Wad. Back out to Rogers. Rogers dribbling to the right side of the paint. Blocked. Blocked at the right block. Fordham will continue to play defense. Will be off Fordham on the baseline after the block. Bagia, after the injury, comes off and makes an impact.
Told you Bodija can hold his own from the perimeter.
Bodija has that right thigh taped up, or that left thigh taped up after his trip with the trainer. Guarding Rogers in the right corner, backing down on the baseline. It goes! The turnaround floater on the right baseline goes. NJIT continuing to make circus shots offensively. Day Reeves on the right wing, passing it inside to Schulte. Schulte finding himself in the middle of the lane, puts up a shot, no good, but he'll go to the line for 2. A hard foul there on Schulte by Arrington.
I like that Fordham is adjusting live. They're getting the ball in the paint every single possession. They're not settling for threes because they're not making threes. They're 4 from 21 now from distance. Only one made three made by a player not named Day Reeves, but the paint game has been working way better. The issue, you have an 11-point gap to make up in 4 minutes. You can't really do that if you just go in the paint and if you're not getting consistent stops.
Joe, we always hear there's too much time, there's not enough time. What's the point of what's the barrier to entry for this Fordham team down double digits right now? As Schulte makes the free throw, cutting it to 9.
You got to get stops. You got to force another turnover. Have an impact play. Get this crowd going. Feel the momentum swing. You got to get your hands in the passing lane and come up with an easy look the other way.
Schulte 2 for 3 from the free throw line so far. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Schulte gets that one to go on the second one. The slingshot, unorthodox shooting style goes. It's now 65-56. Fordham cuts it back down to single digits. 4 minutes to go in the second half. Clayville, top of the arc, moving left to right. Clayville getting it to Fulton. Fulton has it top of the arc, back to his defender. Now faces up Day. Spins, shoots, and makes. The mid-range has been all too kind to NJIT this evening. They got another one there. 3:38 to go in this second half. 67-56 NJIT. Bodija. Skip past to Lesmond. Lesmond moves it back all the way back out deep on the left wing. Henry has it top of the arc. Moves left around a Schulte screen. Spins. Paint. No good on the floater. Fulton has it on the defensive glass.
Wow. They're going to slow it down too. Clock working against you if you're Fordham.
Bill Meyer and his staff saying the same thing, slowing down this offense. Clayville will menacingly stand at the top of the key, waiting for direction. Eventually moves left, gives it to Fulton, top of the key. Moving to the left part of the lane, spinning, not getting anywhere. Back out to Clayville, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Driving to the middle of the lane, no good on his layup. Fordham has it back.
I think Lesmond got a piece of that in the help. Fordham got to move fast.
Fordham still down 11, 2:40 left. Day, right wing, driving into the lane. In the paint, out to Henry, his left wing 3, no good, off the right side of the rim. Schulte on the putback, no good. Fordham's misfortune on second chance opportunities has been ridiculous this afternoon.
Schulte has been a beast on the offensive board. He's got 10 rebounds now, but he's just 2 for 7. He can't make his putbacks.
Clayville gives it to Fulton, deep on the right wing. NJIT, as Joe said, not in a rush at all. Rogers, top of the arc. Pass into a Wad. Wad, left corner pass. Fulton pump fakes. Still has it. Ends up getting called for the travel. Bodija, I hyped up after that stop, and Fordham gets the ball back down 11.
Bodija is giving everything defensively, but NJIT is just finding a way to get baskets to go.
NJIT still finding a way down the stretch to get baskets to go. They hold an 11-point lead, 67-56, 2:13 to go in this one. We're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a one-on-one scoreboard update with Derek Bullier. Take it away, Derek.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
From college to the NBA, the Knicks took down the Wizards 119-102 to get back on track and above 500, while also remaining undefeated at home. They stay at home for the Timberwolves tomorrow at 7:30, who come from Brooklyn after taking down the Nets 125-109. The Nets remain winless, falling to 0-7. West to Indiana, a Giannis Antetokounmpo game winner carries the Bucks past a very injured Pacers team, 117-115. In another close game, the Jazz played their sweet music in Boston after a Yusuf Nurkic game winner and a controversial no call on Jaylen Brown's trip over Utah's Keyonte George. In another close game, the Heat survived the Clippers after Kawhi misses the game winner from 26 feet. Game ends 120-119 as Bam Adebayo leads Miami with a 25-point, 10-rebound double-double. Finally, away from the hardwood, another governor's race has their polls closed, this time in New Jersey, although the race is yet to have a projected winner. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Derek Bullier.
Back here at Rose Hill, we're going to give you the last 2:13 of action here from Fordham. But first, we're going to send it back to another sideline report with Alex Diaz. Take it away, Alex.
That last time out, Coach Magpayo really harped on his guys about communication. He said, quote, all of their baskets we gave up there were because of a lack of communication. He believes they weren't making the proper switches on defense and talking enough, leaving guys open and leading to buckets for NJIT. He wants his guys to play with pressure on defense and play smart. He said he doesn't want to see any more dumb fouls. He also said he wasn't happy with the rebounding. Fordham gave up quite a few rebounds on defense and offense there that has made a difference in this game. He believes this team is capable of so much more than they are showing, and he wants them to be aggressive and play with some more energy. The Rams are looking to get on a run here, and they will need everything, the offense and the defense, to play cohesively in order to do that. Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it as always. Alex Diaz, fantastic all evening so far from the sideline. Make sure to follow her on the Nets beat report as well. She does fantastic work there. As she mentioned, Joe, a real lack of cohesion offensively for this Fordham team. They've gone ice cold in recent times, scoreless in their last 2 minutes, 1 for 8 from their last 8 field goals attempted, and 1 for 9 for their last 9 threes attempted.
They need a bucket in a bad way here. I wouldn't be surprised if they find Tariq Nutter.
Day Reeves going left around the screen. Bowditch had it wide open, top of the key, lost the ball. Bowditch got it back. Crossover right to left, spinning in the lane, no good at the rim. No good on his own putback. Tariq Nutter gets the second chance as well. No good on his shot, but he'll go to the line. 2 more missed putbacks for the Rams. Joe, you got your hands on your head, and rightfully so.
They're fighting so well this half on the offensive board. They just can't finish their putbacks. They're getting overzealous. They're jumping back up too quickly. Take your time. You've got the size advantage. Just go up, controlled, high off the glass, and put the ball in the hoop.
It'll be a mini timeout like we had before, a slight chance just for both teams to talk to their head coaches. Fordham still trailing by 11, 67-56, 152 to go in this one. Joe, is the time just not on Fordham's side here? Have they ran out of time this evening?
They're not out of time. Nutter needs to hit these free throws. Fordham is now 10 of 16. They've gotten better from the line, but still 63% is not good. Nutter's a sub 60% free throw shooter. He has to hit these. Then you need to get a stop. And really interestingly, Jace Howard is going to check in the game for, I think, the first time all half. This is a guy touted as a versatile defender by Magpayo. They need this stop badly if they're going to make a sub to do it.
Yeah, Jace Howard got some minutes in the first half. As Joe said, second half minutes for Jace Howard, the Michigan transfer. Nutter, first try at the line, no good off back iron. He's now 4 for 8 from the line tonight.
I mean, that's the problem. He's so good inside. He's a bruiser. He seeks out contact. He gets the line better than anyone, but he can't hit his free throws.
Nutter, good on the second free throw. He now has 13 points and 5 rebounds on the evening. Pettis subbing in for Green, or not subbing in for Green. Green going to guards. Oh no, yes, subbing in for Green. Green going to take a seat for Pettis. Pettis now guarding full court along with Reeves and Howard. A 3-man, 3-2 full court press for the Rams. Fulton has it on the right wing. Guarded by Nutter. Top of the key, Awad. Awad fakes the dribble handoff. Loses the ball. Guarded by the much bigger Jace Howard. Many wanted to travel, didn't get it. Fulton, right wing. Stop and pop, had enough room, passed it back out to Awad. Awad finding his teammate wide open left corner. It's good! John Kelly on the three, and that just might have been the dagger. NJIT goes up 70-57, 1:18 to go in this second half. Referees call for an official stoppage. They're going to look at the clocks, thinks that there's a mistake with the time. 1:17 currently on the clock. Joe, the wind seems to not only be out of Fordham's sails, but your sails as well.
Look, my sails are down. We're on rocky waters here, Chris. 13 points in 77 seconds. It would take a miracle. Fans are starting to leave.
Yeah, the exits are starting to flow. In England, they would chant, "Is there a fire drill? Is there a fire drill, Joe?" Nonetheless, Fordham with still minute 15 left of their opener. 70-57. Schulte has it top of the arc. Trying to create off-ball movement. Gives it to Day-Day. Day-Day pump fake. Still has it top of the arc. Right to left crossover. Step back three. No good top of the arc. Off front rim. It was Rogers on the rebound. He was fouled on a reach-in after the rebound. He'll go to the line.
In the body language, blank stares on the Fordham bench. A blank stare from Mike Magpayo. And a team expected to win by double digits that really needed to win by double digits to convince people that this offseason is everything it was made up to be. Couldn't have asked for a more disappointing start.
Jordan Rogers missing on the free throw there. Son of Roy Rogers, the Blazers coach. Lesmond, left wing three for Fordham. No good off back iron. Day-Day Reeves on the second chance. No good on his layup. Zariq Nutter, another second chance, gets it to go. Fordham's second chances have plagued them all evening long. They get that one to go, and they cut the lead back down to 11. 70-59, 47.4 seconds left in this second half. We'll take a little break from the Rose Hill Gym. You're listening to Men's Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
A depleted scene here at the beautiful, historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University. Fordham Rams trailing in their season and home opener 70-59. The first game of the coach Mike Magpayo era might just be a complete nightmare, Joe.
I mean, I'm speechless. This team built up for months about what they were going to show everyone in non-conference play, just come out flat.
Rams trail 70-59, still an 11-point deficit, 46 seconds left. Rams will foul in the backcourt. I believe that was on Zariq Nutter. Be his first foul of the evening, or his second foul of the evening, and that'll send NJIT to the line. More specifically, Jordan Rogers back to the line. As I said before, Rogers, the son of Roy Rogers, Blazers coach. Appeared only Highlander to appear in all 31 games last season. In his freshman season, looking to pick up a bigger role in his sophomore season this year. Rogers, good on the first. Rogers filling into that body as well. Looks pretty big for a sophomore.
No doubt. I mean, this team has a lot of guys that stuck with this program after freshman year, which tells you something about what Grant Billmeyer
absolutely
is building. And now you have guys taking leaps, not just on the floor, but with their physicality in the weight room.
Rogers good on the second. Continuity, truly the greatest compliment for a college basketball coach. Such an ever-changing landscape, college basketball. 40 seconds to go, 72-59. And that one off the leg of the driving Day Reeves goes back to NJIT. 37.7 seconds on the clock, 72-59. NJIT just putting the final touches on a very impressive opening night victory.
Fordham still pressing, but no use.
A three-man press. Rogers calls timeout. And that'll send these teams back to their benches. Joe, we've talked a lot about how disappointing of a game this was for Fordham. Let's talk on the positive side. What a positive surprise this was this evening for the NJIT Highlanders. An NJIT Highlanders program under Grant Billmeyer the last 2 years that has gone 13-46. This game, a true high mark for him and his tenure so far in NJIT, at NJIT.
And how is scoring 72 points against a highly experienced, bigger than you, stronger than you Fordham defense for a team that finished bottom 10 in the entire country in offensive rating last year and finished bottom 15 the year prior. This was the rap that Grant Billmeyer had gotten. He can't run an offense. Somehow they found a spark from a bunch of freshmen and guys who really didn't see the floor last year. It's kind of a sensational story.
Grant Billmeyer, assistant to Kevin Willard at Seton Hall for 7 seasons. As that one's inbounded by NJIT, they'll try to get across half court. They do. Eventually they'll end up with Awad, and they'll just pass it around. A tenacious defense from Fordham, trying to get the ball away. They can't.
Yeah, they're not going to foul. They were trying to get a turnover, but no use fouling here.
Rogers has it deep on the right wing. He'll just dribble this one out as the last 7 seconds or so on the shot clock tick off. Seems like they'll actually engage some offense. Rogers to the rim, no good at the rim. Day Reeves going the other way for Fordham. Outlet pass to Pettis. He'll finish at the rim with 4 seconds and change on the clock. 72-61. Pettis cuts it to 11. It's going to be not enough time for the Rams. Fulton gets it on the inbound. He'll let it dribble out, and that's it. From opening night, the Fordham Rams are stunned. NJIT Highlanders come into the Rose Hill Gym and shock the Fordham Rams on opening night, 72-61, and what a victory for the Highlanders.
This might be the best victory in this program's history under Grant Billmeyer. 13-46 in your first 2 seasons. 7 non-conference wins in your first 2 seasons. Your best win to date, a win over Fordham in the Rose Hill Gym in 2023, coming back from a 14-point deficit. Now your best win coming in on opening night against a Fordham team with all this buzz surrounding them in Rose Hill, a team as experienced as any in its conference, against a team without its best 2 players, with virtually no collegiate experience on the floor, finding a way to not just win, but in some fashions dominate a Fordham team that thought that they were going to win by double digits.
Day Reeves had 21 points this evening. That was a game high. And, of course, David Bolden, who had been cooking all afternoon long, all evening long, had 18 points, 7 for 13 from the field. Very impressive start to his college basketball career. That's it for us from the Rose Hill Gym. I want to thank everybody on site with us. Of course, my partner, my wonderful, fantastic partner, Joe Henry, our sidelines reporter, Alex Diaz, of course, our on-site producer making his debut at on-site producer, Henry Wolf. Of course, we're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios one more time for the post-game report with Nathan Rogers and Derek Bullier. Take it away, guys.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Welcome into WFUV's historic Rose Hill studio for our one-on-one post-game report. I'm your host, Nathan Rogers, sitting beside Derek Bullier. Congrats to Chris Carino and Joe Henry on their first call in the 2025-2026 Fordham men's basketball season. Great job tonight on the call, guys. But first, let's break this down. I just want to say one thing, and I am speechless. I am shocked that after creating this roster for months. Magpayo's been here for 5 months. He recruited these players, basically a whole new team, starting from the bottom. And basically you have 7 guys playing here for 1 year. And Fordham NJIT walks into Rose Hill Studio and shocks Fordham, winning 72-61. And Joe Henry said it on the call best, but NJIT, this is probably their best win in their program's history at Rose Hill. Across the board, not great shooting. Really struggled beyond the arc for this Fordham Rams team. And NJIT, hats off to this NJIT Highlanders team with 2 true freshmen really just leading the court on both sides of the ball. Bolden and Rocco Awad are both freshmen, and they just outscored this Fordham team. It was great to see, basically a team that doesn't have any collegiate experience show out. I mean, if you're just for a basketball fan, that's great to see for any freshman playing well. They came out in the second half with a full court press, the Fordham Rams did. New energy for the first 5 to 8 minutes. And after that, the energy really just took a cap because there were 3 stoppages in 2 minutes, basically because of 3 timeouts in that span from Magpayo around that 10 or 8 minute mark. And then you have that Nutter dunk from Zarik Nutter, the Georgia State transfer, cut the NGI lead down from 50 to 55 to 48. But after that, really just no shooting. NJIT, Bolden, and Awad just fast breaks, both sides of the ball, just putting the ball in the cup, to put it lightly. And the momentum was just shifting towards NJIT the whole game.
Yeah, the easiest thing to point out is just the shooting, because Bolden and Awad themselves both have 4 threes, and Fordham as a team has 4 threes combined. They went 4 for 24, which is the easiest thing to just point out and say that's the reason they lost. But these freshmen, they really showed out, and then this Fordham team, it seemed, I talked about it in the halftime a little bit, is it a team chemistry thing? But it just seemed like a lot of these guys just weren't able to show out. We talked about Nutter a little bit. He went 5 for 16 total from the field. That's under a third of his shots. So it just seems like a lot of these players, maybe it is just they haven't worked together enough, but they've had scrimmages and they've had quite a lot of time to get together. As you said, Magpayo's been here for a couple months. Yeah. But it's these players, we know that we've seen them in other programs and we've seen what they can do, but it's just strange that, especially with Fordham being 13.5 point favorites, and they lose by
14.5,
and they lose by 11.
Yeah. Also, opening night, other than 2020, which had a bunch of cancellations due to COVID-19, the last time Fordham lost a home opener was 2017. In that 2017 to 2018 season, they finished 9-22. This is Magpayo's first home opening loss in his career. I think he's now 5-1 or 4-1. Nevertheless, Fordham drops their first non-conference game of the year to the NJIT Highlanders. And for basically one of the easiest schedules in all of college basketball, you can't afford to lose these first games down the stretch. You have some tough games later in the season against Iona, maybe LIU. They could probably sneak in to maybe the tournament. LIU is not horrible, right? That could be a quality win. You travel up to Iona, which is about 30 minutes up from here. But other than that, this non-conference schedule is relatively easy for this Fordham Rams team. Yes, is it a whole new roster? Yes. But Joe Henry and Chris Carino talked about it on the call. This NGI team, literally,
they're also new.
They're new to the sport of college basketball.
Exactly.
Virtually no one on that team has real experience. Rogers was the only player on that team that played all the games for the NJIT Highlanders last year. He played 31 games. And other than that, this roster is, a bunch transfers and high schoolers, new freshmen, true freshmen. And the Fordham Rams team has a lot of graduate transfers, a lot of seniors, older guys. Magpayo in the A10 Media Day said, we looked for old and efficient players. He didn't recruit any player that had lower than 100 offensive efficiency rating. And there was no offensive efficiency tonight.
Not at all.
And in the second half, you get to the line about 9 times, and you only score 11 points if you're the Fordham Rams. if you look at the box score, just plainly looking at the box score, the Rams out-rebounded them.
Especially offensively. 19-9 offensive rebounds.
Exactly. And credit to Schulte down the stretch for all the effort in the under the glass, grabbing those rebounds, going back up, but he couldn't get those second chance points that could really lead to that down the stretch lead for the Fordham Rams. And they NJIT were leading most of that second half, if not all. And offensive, you talked about the offensive rebounds, they're there. So I don't know if it was an effort problem for the Fordham Rams. If you look at it, it was closing out the wings, closing out beyond the arc. I mean, Bolden pulls up from the logo, and that was the dagger. And that was with 8 minutes left in the second half. He pulled it from the middle of the F and the middle of the O on the Fordham logo at basically half court, basically like 3 feet beyond the arc, nails the three-pointer, and that was basically the story of the game. It was a true freshman pulling up and knocking down threes, and I don't know if it was luck for this NJIT team, but honestly, in my opinion, I think it was just Fordham not closing out. And there was that one play where on the inbound, there was kind of a miscommunication at half court between Lesman and Reeves about where the ball was being inbounded, and then they throw it. NJIT throws it up to Bolden, and Nutter doesn't close out. They hit the three, and again, that was kind of the story of the game. NJIT hitting 6 of 11 of their threes, and David Bolden was 18, 7, and 7, and he shot 57% from beyond the arc. I mean, that is incredible.
It just seems like this Fordham team was just making small mistakes that you wouldn't expect. You would expect it from you would expect this game to kind of be the exact opposite. True freshmen, people that haven't had a lot of collegiate experience. Exactly. These players that have a ton of collegiate experience. Some of these guys have like 4 or 5 years of experience in this game, playing against people that literally are playing their first ever collegiate game ever, coming into the Rose Hill gym. They've got to be nervous. This gym is historic. This team is historic. And completely
it didn't seem like it, though.
It seemed like they were at home. Like they were in control. They took over this. The stadium started emptying after the first half. It's like the stadium was the gym was full. There was maroon everywhere. There was Fordham fans everywhere. And then in the first half, and then especially like halfway through the second half, when the aforementioned dagger happened. Which, by the way, if a dagger's happening 8 minutes left, there's still 8 minutes left to play. That's a problem of its own. But people were just leaving. The energy was low. It seemed like Fordham was just making so many mistakes and just allowing things to, when you have such experience in this game, that shouldn't really be happening, especially to a team that you're capable of beating, you're expected to beat, and is full of people that are kind of expected to make the mistakes that you just made. Those communications errors, those shooting errors, maybe there's the random mental errors that they're expected to make that you as a veteran team are not.
Yeah, veteran is a good word to describe this Fordham Rams team, but it just didn't seem like that is a good characteristic to describe this team tonight. Yes, they're veteran because they have experience, but they were playing like it was their first game, but it was NJIT's whole roster's first game, basically.
Yeah.
If you're Magpayo, got to go back to the drawing board, and everything we've heard about their practicing, their 5-on-5 scrimmages. They had a really good scrimmage against Stony Brook, basically like a secret, undisclosed scrimmage, but they did really well. And you look at, Magpayo is a numbers guy. He's a statistical coach. And we talked about it. He breaks down those scrimmages. He has a coach, tracking stats for every single, characteristic of the game. Rebounds, boxing out. They get points for hitting the deck and getting turnovers. And you get a point for passing the ball, and if that player gets fouled and goes to the line, you get an assist for that. It's the European style basketball where you're sharing the rock and getting the ball down in the paint and getting it in the cup and also shooting threes. The three ball is so important in Magpayo offense. You know, if you break down the Magpayo offense, it's basically offensive rating, focus on threes, and keep the ball out of the opponent's hands. They did none of those tonight. And on paper, this team's profile is very similar to UC Riverside down in SoCal, where Magpayo comes from. Their last season, the Highlanders, Yes, the UCR finished with Ken Palm's 110th ranked offense and 230th ranked defense. So Magpayo's an offensive-minded, statistical X's and O's coach. And as emphasized at the opening press conference, his teams have previously gone after it on the glass and taken care of the basketball. And tonight, it just didn't seem like the energy was there. We talked about the student section. What you want from an opening night against a team you're expected to beat is a celebration. You want to have fun. You want Reeves going out there getting a career high, more than 30 points. You want your big men getting involved. Maybe get Christian Henry involved in that guard spot. And Reeves, by the way, hats off to Reeves. This is his first game playing point guard. He's never played point guard in his whole entire career. And so when you really think about it, Fordham in the second half, 8 points off turnovers. They had 4 blocks, 5 fast break points. They had 5 steals. They had 18 points in the paint. They had less fouls. But it's literally just the 3-pointers. And I think the energy between the halves, that's what I think.
I think I agree with that, but also the 3-point shooting wasn't there in the first half, and it didn't come back in the second half. So I think it may just be a problem of, I'm not sure what the problem is at this, like with 4 for 24 is 16.7%. Is it, like, what's the issue? Is it just the looks you're getting? Is it NJIT's defense was playing well? Was it just chemistry? Was it like just it could have just be the looks. I don't know, because if you look at all the other stats, they were pretty close. So Fordham was leading, especially rebounding, even turnovers. They had less turnovers. So it literally is just the main system of Magpayo's offense being the 3 just was not there at all.
Yeah, I think this team might need a little bit more time than we expected from the offseason. I don't think an offseason was enough for this identity to really have a cohesive offense and defense. So the Fordham Rams will continue the 3-game homestand Friday versus Mount St. Mary College. That game will also be on ESPN+, but FUV 90.7 will have the game right here in the Rose Hill studio in the Bronx, New York. But that is going to do it for us at the Rose Hill studio for our one-on-one post-game report. For Derek Boyer, Kurt Sipple, and Vanessa Casuda, I am Nathan Rogers. Thank you to Bobby Ceffardini and FUV. This is a production of FUV. And have a good night, everyone.